I think the engine's stalling out on me.
Yeah, that don't sound right.
Dang, got a lot more miles to go.
Nah, it'll be okay, mate. You ride with Geico Motorcycle Insurance and got their 24/7 emergency roadside service. They'll be here with a tow in no time.
Good, because these boots weren't made for walking.
Those riding boots are pretty sweet.
Oh, you like?
Do you think they come in a size 1 inch?
I don't know.
It feels good to ride with help. It feels good to Geico. Emergency roadside service is optional coverage.
Looking for music that lifts your spirit and fills your heart? Experience the powerful sound of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Now streaming on all your favorite music platforms. Find the Tabernacle Choir on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Let the music of the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square inspire you today and every day. Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the go, enjoy the beauty of their world-renowned sound anytime. The Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square, streaming now.
We're all locked in now.
Your home for the best sports radio in Utah is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to kick off your afternoon drive with Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Allow me to introduce the best of the best.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Whatever, Christian. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Again, it's snarky or insulting or something that Christian has to do right before he turns the mic on.
In association.
I do not understand.
With Universal.
There it is.
So Universal also.
Universal.
Foot in the bill.
Yeah. Ben and I were talking about these studios and how much they rely on major windfall, like hit movies. And these studios produce, for every hit, how many absolute stinkers.
Yeah.
But that's how they remake the same movie over and over and over again, because they're just so reliant. They have to have hits.
Something that clears $500 million and pays for the next several years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you got to have a new Avengers coming out. Nobody's asking for it, but it's coming.
It's a guarantee. You have to have a guarantee.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Mouse's layoffs and the fact that Moana was not a hit are necessarily correlated, but eventually they are.
Correct.
They
have to make Frozen 3 to avoid further layoffs.
Right.
Because it will make $1 billion.
But Disney really is scrambling because they're not going to hit their budget because Moana was such a dud. Mm-hmm. Whereas Universal, whoever's the head of Universal, just greenlit like 15 other movies yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone's fat and happy.
Everybody's super excited about it. It's weird. I did not get a chance to chat enough with your brother at your party a few weeks ago. I would love to chat with him more about the actual process of movie making.
Yeah.
From the financing on down, I'm sure it's fascinating. And here at Sundance. Mm-hmm. Used to be, here we used to have front row seat for these movies that were made somehow, and that were here to get picked up by the Universals
right.
of the world, and that's why Sundance movies were super hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
You could catch the next great thing, like imagine if you saw Fargo at Sundance
right.
before
Reservoir Dogs,
whatever. Before these guys were really huge, but I've also seen some just stink shows where it's like, oh, you had trouble getting this made, huh? I'm shocked.
My sister-in-law, who does costumes, went to Spokane to shoot a movie, to do costumes for the movie. The day she got there, they were like, there's no money. Actually, the money fell through. Go home. She flew home. They called her back a couple of weeks later. They're like, come back out.
We're back.
It's going to work. Uh-huh. She's like, I don't know. This is sketchy.
Uh-huh.
Flew back out, made the movie. 6 months later, it got nominated for Best Picture. It's
wow.
like, you just don't know.
Yeah,
and
wow.
then some movies you sit on and you're like, yeah, they've got a huge budget and it's going to be great and we're excited for it. And it turns into live action Moana and cost $300 million to make and lost $150.
Listen, I think that actors and actresses are overly sensitive. You hear the stories of actors storming into Variety magazine and stuff and threatening the life of critics. And, that's not acceptable behavior. But I can't imagine if I poured a ton of time and energy, flew to wherever, worked on all this whole thing, put my reputation on the line, all of this stuff, and then some clown behind a behind a keyboard is like, this is a joke. This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I part of me doesn't blame them that much for being so sensitive. But you can't win them all.
Yep, absolutely.
The Rock is sitting somewhere having a bad day. Could The Rock ever carry a movie? Was there ever a day that The Rock himself...
He was like the highest grossing film actor for a while.
Yeah, but like Will Ferrell made a lot of money too,
Sure.
and he couldn't carry a film.
He headlined a ton of movies, but they were all garbage.
Like the
Jumanji.
Mummy
Yeah.
franchise. Oh yeah, Jumanji.
What was the one? There was one about like the
Rampage.
earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heck no. I'm out.
Well, can't. Well, part of it, maybe I don't blame The Rock because the idea to live action all these movies is not good. Not anymore.
No.
It used to be a way to feel nostalgic about something and then see it again or introduce your kids to it or whatever. But Moana came out like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Moana hasn't even had its hipster disappearing phase where it's so in the rearview mirror that all of a sudden Moana shirts resurface again because it's hipster again.
There's no nostalgia, like you said, no nostalgia tied to it yet.
Yeah, right. My hip niece started wearing Lilo and Stitch all of a sudden out of nowhere. And this was pre the stupid remake of Lilo and Stitch. And she was telling me, she's like, oh, yeah, this is the best movie ever. And I have like 4 shirts. And it was like, because you picked the Disney movie nobody's ever heard of. It's
Sure.
almost like a counterculture type. But Moana hasn't even had that.
No, it hasn't disappeared long enough to even have a comeback.
You and I love the Robin Hood Disney movie and that song in particular because it's the Disney movie everybody's watched but nobody ever thinks of. You know?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of got that hipster counterculture feel to it.
For sure.
Moana is still like, what's his name? The Flight of the Conchords guy is in like every animated movie. That guy's still making movies. The Crab.
So, no, I'm totally with you. They just got a little too cute. They got a little too excited and probably a little desperate.
Remember we looked up the name of that guy that did Baloo the Bear and also Little John and was in all of those Disney movies? That Jermaine guy is this generation of that.
What is his name?
Well, it was Brit, and Jermaine.
Yeah.
And it's Jermaine. That one.
Yeah, the New Zealander. I think they're both New Zealanders.
Christian, Flight of the Conchords, ring a bell?
What's that? Like grapes?
I remember when Flight of the Conchords was like the hip outsider show.
Jermaine Clement.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in like every animated movie ever made now. Dude is making a windfall for working for like 10 minutes.
It's a good gig.
Yeah, let's get on that.
Oh, they're a musical duo.
Yes, they are a musical duo, and HBO made a show about them. I don't know, what year was that, Ben? Like 06?
Yeah, I was in college, so probably maybe a little later, but probably right around there. You've never seen What We Do in the Shadows, Christian? The movie? There's also a TV show that's well-liked.
With Johnny Depp?
What We Do in the Shadows, no, is a mockumentary about vampires living in the world today. Put it on your list.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. But Jermaine Clement, one of the funniest characters of all time. Anyways.
That show was funny.
Yeah, it was very funny. Those guys are funny. Yeah.
Ben, I'm not sure if there's a guaranteed place to start today. I want to know if you're buying the, especially with your connection to people who have run important social media accounts, whether the Miami Heat let the cat out of the bag.
So the backstory, what Jake is hinting at, if you missed it, is that it showed up on the Miami Heat YouTube page, an event, like July 27th, 6 p.m. or whatever it was, 4 p.m., and it said LeBron James introductory press conference. And somebody put that out there. And then I think Adam Schefter today has said something along the lines of, like, I got a text. People are saying Miami. Now, yesterday there was also news that came out that everyone said, remember, LeBron didn't tell Cleveland, LeBron didn't tell Miami, LeBron didn't tell the Lakers until the minute before he announced it that he was signing with them because he didn't want this specifically. He didn't want it to leak ahead of time and ruin his surprise.
I don't believe that, especially with Miami, but yeah.
But apparently...
Miami made a bunch of moves to make
They
room
did.
for him.
They
like
did.
the day, a week before.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't make those moves not knowing he wasn't coming. So I don't know if I believe that, but okay.
But regardless, that's kind of what people have said about Clutch and how LeBron has operated in the past. So does that mean he could do it differently this time? Absolutely. It means he could do it differently this time. Nobody, again, as we've talked about a lot, needs to clear $45 million for him the way you did need to in the past. So he may not feel like he needs to keep it private or does need to give people a heads up, I should say. I don't know. He may just want it different. He may want a big celebration now. He may want it to look good for Netflix when he makes this documentary. I mean, all of these things could have changed his decision-making. But you're right. I do know people who have worked in social media. My wife used to work for the Utah Jazz. She did not tell me what the Utah Mammoth name was going to be. I didn't know, but she was doing social media for the Jazz and parts for the Mammoth as well. Part of her job was to go and reserve a bunch of social media, what's the word I'm looking for? Handles, just in case they picked that team name. So, like, I would see a recommendation on Instagram because I suspect she was having to do them with her email or her phone number or something. And because everyone's tied into an algorithm, you get recommended, hey, you may want to follow this account. Their phone number is in your phone, in your contacts. So I would get a recommendation on TikTok or Instagram or something every 4 days. Utah, insert team name, team store. Utah Yeti team store. Do you want to follow this? And she's actually never even confirmed this to me, but my theory is she was tasked with going and reserving all of these handles to keep the space just in case that ended up being the team name, and it didn't end up as the Yeti, it ended up as the Mammoth. It didn't end up as the Goals. It didn't, whatever the crazy name, the Outlaws, whatever the names that were thrown out there. I can't even remember all of them. But for a few months, there were recommendations of names or of accounts I should follow. So the only thing I would say with my insight into this, my knowledge of how this process works, this could be somebody just setting up a test run just in case.
Well, that's their excuse.
That is their excuse.
Yeah.
Like, you know what the Jazz probably already have sitting somewhere in a folder on their hard drive somewhere on their servers is a thank you, Lowry Markkinen, for your efforts. Or what a goodbye video for Will Hardy. Thank you, Coach Andre Tourigny, for your work as the first head coach of the Utah Hockey Club. You build things in preparation for a contingency, for something that could potentially happen that simply just may never happen.
Now, the counter...
Donovan Mitchell, good luck with the Knicks. Thanks for all your time.
The counter argument is that it had a date and time specifically.
It did.
You know, when you, for example, newspapers will write obituaries for famous people.
Mm-hmm.
In those drafts, it doesn't say, on December 12th,
yes.
Christian Esparza passed away. No, usually it does not include those specifics. So, yes, I understand that people do prep work and that accidents happen. And this is not as catastrophic as the person in Hawaii that sent out a text blast that said nuclear attack was imminent. That had to be the biggest.
That was a whiff.
The biggest one of those ever.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear that story, Christian?
I do vaguely remember hearing that.
Yeah, some guy had a bad day doing that. However, I don't know if this is that because of those details. And I will tell you this. Players are weirdly obsessive about making their own announcements. Case in point, when Gordon Hayward was leaving the Jazz, that famous July 4th, Ben, do you remember what happened?
I remember the Players, what's it called? Players Tribune?
That played a role, but not till later. Chris B. Haynes reported that Gordon Hayward was going to sign with the Boston Celtics. Then Scotty G put out the bat signal, and we all came in and did an emergency show on July 4th, only to have Gordon's people and the Jazz stuff it back into the bottle.
So we haven't made a decision yet.
I don't know.
We don't know.
And by the way, really dragging Crispy Haynes through the mud on both sides. Only hours later to have a Players Tribune article from Gordon Hayward come out that said,
wow, what a run it's been.
Thanks, I'm leaving. And I have no idea why you would even waste the energy trying to stuff it back in the bottle after a reporter got the scoop. Just put out the Players Tribune thing that he had written probably for months.
Yes. Had somebody write for him, yes.
For a long time. Just hit send. But he was so obsessed with, I don't know, not being unpopular in Utah. I don't understand it. I don't get the obsession with it. So if you're telling me that a social media person made a mistake, sent out something they shouldn't have, and LeBron James lost his mind and said, you better stuff this back in the bottle, I would believe it.
And it has happened.
Well, yeah.
Hashtag tank note. Take note. Tank note is what Jazz fans are saying. Take note. Leaked.
That happened.
Before it was supposed to leak.
I happen to know who leaked that one.
Yes. The Utah Yeti Instagram account did have to get made privately without any ability to follow it. But even then, it did find its way into anyone who had that contact number in their phone, probably as a recommended follow.
So, I don't know. You can dismiss it. They want you to dismiss it as preparation and a mistake. But it might not be.
It might not be.
It might not be. Somebody threw that out there a little prematurely, and now everybody's mad because LeBron wanted to. I mean, look at LeBron. He made the most famous free agency video ever with Jim Gray and a broadcast live on ESPN.
Yeah.
You know, I still remember I was on vacation when that happened, and I remember where I was watching that stupid thing.
So do I.
At the, Akron Boys and Girls Club. Taking my talents to South Beach.
You were watching it with who? Do you remember? Donovan Mitchell, who was at the Boys and Girls Club.
There. Yeah, who was there. No. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you know what I was thinking this. Is this holding really anything up outside of Adam Silver releasing the schedule apparently?
I don't think it is.
Like, has James Harden not signed with Cleveland because they're waiting on LeBron James?
Maybe. But again, probably not. The money shouldn't matter. He's going to get I think he should just get a veteran minimum.
Well, I mean, I guess unless Cleveland wants to scrape together some more dough.
But I honestly don't know if they have more.
But that's what I'm getting at. I mean, because why is James Harden, why is he fat right now? Because James Harden's only fat when he's under contract. Mm-hmm. He thins out in those contract years. And right now, well, according to pictures we saw the other day, he's quite heavy.
Yeah.
Which would lead me to believe he's not all that worried about where he's going to sign in free agency.
Not trying to be
no
his best self.
So what is he waiting on?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
My point is, I guess, is that maybe we should stop caring. Now, it's impossible because there's literally nothing else going on. And that was your point yesterday, where he's doing this on purpose because he knows nothing else is going on and everybody's talking about it. So, you know, I guess we're a victim of that. But is it really consequential?
Not NBA-wide. It's going to determine what NBC covers, what ESPN covers, what Amazon Prime covers. Yeah, whose games are they more focused on? Cleveland, Miami, or insert random third team here. That's what they care about. But no, for us, for who's going to win the title, I don't think it matters.
Silver should just release
the
totally
agree.
Schedule. You know what? Miami's going to be a draw with Giannis.
You can
Cleveland was just in the conference finals. They're going to be a draw regardless.
Have them both play. Have them play each other on opening night.
Or Christmas or whatever.
Or Christmas. Yeah, whatever it is. We're going to see them. Have them both play on opening night. Maybe not each other. Have them both play on opening night. Have them both play on Christmas. Have them both play on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. All of the big days for the NBA, and you'll catch them all. It's not like he's not going to a team that nobody's going to watch otherwise.
And it's not like he's the biggest star in the league anymore.
No, he's not.
But maybe he's the most notable in the same way that people watched Michael Jordan with the Wizards, I suppose. Yeah. But, I mean, how consequential was Michael Jordan with the Wizards?
Wasn't.
He was not.
Right.
But LeBron will probably pick a better team. Miami or Cleveland is better than those Wizards teams were. I don't even remember who was on those Wizards teams.
Rip Hamilton, Jerry Stackhouse, I think.
Old Rip Hamilton, though, right? No,
young Rip.
Young Rip Hamilton.
Pre-Pistons.
Rip.
Yeah.
Is Caron Butler?
I think that was pre-Caron Butler. Huh. But not good.
No,
not good teams.
Not good at all.
Kwame?
Was it a...
Did Jordan play with Kwame after drafting him?
Kwame, but they didn't play together, I don't think.
Okay.
It was when Jordan was president of the Wizards for a brief period of time.
Good run.
Really, really good
It must have been. Kwame was drafted in 01 and was with Washington through 05, and I think that's when Jordan was there.
Stay tuned.
Not great.
Top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Coming up next, Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, who are we up to?
We're still on presidents. Gerald Ford.
Gerald Ford, well, he's in good shape.
Just covering our bases, Tom. You never know. Okay.
All right. Gerald Ford dead today at the age of 83.
Okay, good. And one for next year.
All right. Gerald Ford dead today at age 84.
A little sadder.
All right. Gerald Ford dead today at age 84.
You know what they say, 4 wheels move the body, but 2 wheels move the soul.
Poetry, mate.
But don't think my motorcycle or my soul will be moving anytime soon. Got a flat tire.
Ah, that's all right. You ride with Geico Motorcycle Insurance and got their 24/7 emergency roadside service. They'll get you back on the road.
Ah, beautiful saying. You come up with that?
It's not a saying. It's a Geico motorcycle policy.
Tomato, tomato.
It feels good to ride with help. It feels good to Geico. Emergency roadside service is optional coverage.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
We'll do whatever, Christian. We'll do all 4. It's time for the top 4 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. Actually, I take that back, Christian. Let's take LeBron out of there because we just spent a whole segment.
You just hit it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, LeBron is Lagon from the top 4 stories of the day, bringing them down to 3. Where do you want to start?
Number 1 just announced the University of Utah will be inducting Eric Weddle into the Ring of Honor.
I didn't know he was not in yet.
Well, it's new. There's only 2 people in, right? Isn't it Alex Smith and Coach Mack?
Okay.
So, I mean, being number 3 on the list is honestly pretty good. I'll have to double check that, but yeah.
Let's look.
Alex Smith was first, and Coach Mack was second. Because a lot of people were, well, not that Alex Smith wouldn't deserve it, but think Coach Mack maybe should have been.
And they only do one a year.
Right.
All right.
So yeah, number 3 ain't bad.
During the Arkansas game, by the way.
Is when that's going to happen. Extremely deserved. I mean, Eric Weddle is the Utah man. I mean, not only was he incredibly successful on the field, specifically at Utah, he was a do-it-all type that was extraordinarily popular. He was, we say was, he is an extremely good communicator, and then he goes into the NFL, and he plays forever at an extremely high level. Highest paid safety in the league, at least for a period of time, and then has done nothing but be a Utah advocate pretty much since he got there. So, Eric, I think that's a wise selection.
Roy Jefferson also in last year. So they will induct more than one. Roy Jefferson is also in the, let's see here, Utah Hall of Fame? What do they call it? They have 3 or 4 of these honorary.
Yeah, this is the stadium one, though.
This is the okay. Important.
Yeah.
Different geographical locations on the campus itself have their own honorary circles you get brought into.
Yeah, the Ring of Honor. The basketball team hangs the jersey or whatever,
sure.
So the football team's doing the Ring of Honor.
Okay.
It's a way to. I mean, it's a way to promote your.
It's
program.
a way to release a press release.
Yeah. Okay.
I hate to sound pessimistic, but
Eric is listening, I'm not downloading or downgrading
playing.
your accomplishment there.
No, I don't think anyone is. I also don't think this is uplifting his accomplishments either.
No, it's fine. It's nice. Lots of universities do the Ring of Honor thing. What? It really is
you should find something else to do. Also,
it's really no different than the jersey thing in the rafters.
Correct.
And that doesn't do it for you either?
Jerseys in basketball a little different.
I don't think so.
I guess because it's kind of been a long tradition. If you want to retire a football jersey, you can do that as well. But yeah, okay. I can't wait. Can't wait for the Arkansas game.
All right, what's next?
Oh man, you're gonna love this one. Number 2. Your guy, Pitt McAfee, announced today he is going to release an album. We don't quite know the genre. This is coming up in August.
I had no idea he was a singer or a musician of any
Why
kind.
has this become the theme of the last week? Ed Harris wants to sing. Bear and Tiger Bachmeyer want to sing.
No,
what is
everybody
going
does.
on here?
Everybody wants to be Mick Jagger.
It's just like when people started releasing NFTs and everybody had to have an NFT of their own. You have to have an album. You have to have a singing appearance at the Ring of Fire, or you have to you have to have an album if you're Pat McAfee.
Yeah. No, it's the dream for anybody. I mean, think if you had limitless resources and a huge ego.
Sure.
What is the dream for like 90% of everybody? To be a singer or a rock star or a country star or whatever your version of that is, right? It's the reason Ron Artest asked the Indiana Pacers if he could take the first several months of the season off to record his rap album.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Lillard has a rap album.
Mm-hmm.
Shaq had an album.
Mm-hmm. And Kobe had an album.
The Diary of a Polarizing Figure, by the way.
This is
August 14th.
Pat
Save
McAfee's
the date.
Big album.
Have you ever heard Gordon Hayward tried to rap?
Yes, I have.
When he was in college?
Mm-hmm.
CJ Miles was a rapper when he was here? I don't know. Why does
Aoni had an album that came out?
Why is Russell Crowe in a band?
G Time, if you remember.
Yeah.
It was Gordon Hayward, Too Big Yo was his album.
I think that was the song. I don't know if he had an album.
It's a single, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it was anything like that. I don't know. It's
like that?
It's people that have too much money that think their missing calling was being a rock star. You know what I mean? I don't know. Lots of people have it for some reason. Coach has a fairly successful band, but he does it for fun. I mean, I think they get a paying gig here and there, but the reason he likes hanging out with his buddies and doing the singing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you. It's a thing, and apparently Pitt has the bug. Paris
Says
Hilton,
he's been working on it for 20 years. He's been writing these songs now for 20 years.
I think Paris Hilton has put out multiple albums.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot similar. I think the impulse is very much similar to everybody who's on the Snap Talk thinks that they are an influencer and one video away from being famous.
I actually have more sympathy for the fail child Nepo baby a la Paris. Who did she do the thing with Lionel's son?
Lionel? Nicole Richie.
Nicole Richie.
There he is, Lionel.
I get the idea of my parents were famous and I've got unlimited money. What should I do?
Yeah, she's
going
to put out an album. It's
so
the
I
same
guess
thing.
I'll put out an album. Pat McAfee Made money, a little money in the NFL, makes a fortune now at ESPN.
Yes, he makes $50 million a year.
He doesn't now need to step into the studio.
It's not about making money. It's about attention. And he is the next gift
But here's
to
the thing.
music.
He has attention. Clearly, he has the attention.
Not the right type.
Apparently, yeah.
No.
Apparently not.
Why do actors try and be singers? Russell Crowe is a hugely successful actor.
Right.
But it's not the right type of success, Ben, because he's not Mick Jagger, which is the dream. Like, his dream was probably not to be Tom Selleck. It was to be Mick Jagger. Mm-hmm. And so now that he's kind of Tom Selleck, he's like, but no, really, I want to be Mick Jagger. Your guy, Dolan.
Mm-hmm.
He owns the Knicks. He has his childhood dream. Still wants to be Mick Jagger. I don't know. Wins enough for Pitt.
Never enough.
There's no production studio giving him money to make this album. I'm sure he's financing it all himself.
I would hope so.
What genre is it going to be?
Oh, it's got to be. Well, what is Jelly Roll?
No, you think it's country? I think it's. I had no idea how many football guys were into like really heavy metal until I met Gunther.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's like death metal?
Well, think about this, Ben. Do you have to have any talent to do death metal?
Well, yeah.
No.
Sure, probably.
No, absolutely not. You just scream.
That's probably a talent. Probably is something that not everyone can do. Otherwise, everyone would do it and everyone would make money doing it. So there must be something to it. McAfee has not released any information on the genre.
No, I think
USA.
I think you have to have some talent to be a country singer. I think just screaming into a microphone requires no talent.
I think they're probably sixes.
What about maybe it's a hip hop album?
Good. That's what the world needs. Pat McAfee's thoughts on hip hop.
Well, the world needs none of this.
Yeah.
You're saying is there a genre of music that the world needs from Pat McAfee?
Silence.
I don't think that's what it's going to be. Just an album of straight silence.
It's inspired by AJ Hawk.
Nice.
Just sit there and don't say anything.
All right. What's next?
Number 3, Real Salt Lake back in MLS action tonight after the World Cup break. They're going to be at LAFC.
Well, they're well rested because nobody got to play at during the World Cup. So hopefully they come back with a little bit of momentum and are playing well if you're an RSL fan.
I've always thought it was silly. This is not even Tuesday. Here's my hot take. I always thought it was silly that Major League Soccer took a huge break for the World Cup.
Yeah, there's like 4 people playing.
Right. And, not in this case, maybe it's a little different because we were the host country, but most of the time is a 9 a.m. game in Qatar really going to bump you off your Saturday night 7 o'clock kick, right? And some teams maybe are missing a guy. I mean, RSL was missing 2 one year. But there are so many Major League Soccer games. The season is so long. Just keep going. And in fact, if anything, maybe you'll sell more tickets because people are excited about soccer.
Yes, you watch the game on Saturday and you think,
I gotta go.
RSL game Monday, kids have a little bit of the bug. Let's go back. Let's go to a game. Let's go see it in person.
So I always thought it was dumb that they took a break for World Cup. But we're not going to have to worry about that anymore, right? Because they're adjusting the schedule for some reason, which seems crazy to me, being a sports fan who lives in Utah.
Yeah, the winter schedule is going to be rough for the soccer team, for the outdoor soccer team.
Let's throw up a dome, huh?
But a lot of these are cold weather teams.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And all just to match up with the European calendar? We don't live in Europe!
Let's see. Vancouver, cold weather. Salt Lake, cold weather. Seattle, not snowy, but cold. Minnesota, rough. Miserable. St. Louis, miserable. Colorado, miserable. Sporting Kansas City, miserable in the winter. And that's just the West.
Oh, I had no idea how miserable St. Louis was until I spent New Year's there one year. It was 3 below or something like that. Ice everywhere.
Like that?
Wind that was just tearing your skin clean off the bone. I had no idea.
Chicago, New England, New York. How's Charlotte do in the winter? It must not be terrible.
It's the South in the winter is not pleasant, honestly. It's not freezing cold, but it's cold enough, and then it's so wet it feels colder.
There's 2 New York teams. D.C., horrible. Columbus, horrible. Montreal, horrible. Toronto, horrible. Philly, horrible.
How's this going to go?
70% of the teams are in cold weather
How are you going to sell
cities.
tickets? In all honesty, how do you sell tickets? And in the winter months, do you just have, is Miami playing home games? Do they even have enough teams that could play nothing but home games in the wintertime? Like, I don't understand.
I generally try to give people the benefit of the doubt and think they must have thought through some of these things, how they're going to figure this out, how it's going to be viewed. But you do have to think, like, if they are trying to pitch the 30-year-old European star to come play in the U.S., is that person going to want to come sign in Philadelphia?
And play in 2 feet of snow?
I mean, I know they're already only signing in Los Angeles or Miami. That certainly has been the case so far. But
they still have to play there.
Then they still have to go play. Yeah, they don't get to only play the warm weather games. So, again, I like to think somebody has thought this through better than I have. I assume somebody has, but this seems like pretty obvious flaw at face value.
I also think you fit into people's schedules, into people's calendars, and if you disrupt that, there is some risk to it.
Mm-hmm.
How many RSL season ticket holders are doing so because RSL games in July are absolutely incredible? Like that's the reason they're a season ticket holder, because June, July, and August, and we'd have to look at what the new calendar is going to be. But that is the time to go to an RSL game when it's just cooling off and the sun's going down and it's just gorgeous outside.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the time to do it. But whatever, got to take some time off for the World Cup, Ben.
Yeah, got to get that transfer window capitalized on.
But yeah, they should be well rested. That should happen. All right, stay tuned. That game, by the way, starts tonight at, let's see here, late start at 8:30. More Jake and Ben coming up next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson. Now, every day from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Tied up! Hornswoggled, befuddled.
Dame looks at the double team, gets rid of it over to CJ with 3, with 2. Mo out of the corner, raising
Let's
up.
go home.
Got it!
Let's go home.
Mo Harkless says, good night, Los Angeles! They do not switch. Peyton stays on Lillard, drives into the lane to the glass.
Oh, my goodness.
What a play off the contact. He scoops and scores. Suns will bring it in bounds. Daniels from backcourt.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The great Kevin Calabro, right there, voice of the Portland Trailblazers.
Former voice of the Portland Trailblazers.
This is relevant today, Ben, because
El Cheapo strikes again. One of the 3 or 4, I think Mike Breen's the best play-by-play announcer in the NBA right now.
Calabro's great, though.
Calabro's up there. He's been around forever. He used to be the Seattle Sonics play-by-play voice. Been a long time, voice of the NBA. If you've ever had League Pass, you listen to him. He calls a great game. El Cheapo, according to Kevin Calabro, said they offered him a, quote, subprime contract. And he said, easy decision, not worth my time. Said, which is sad because it's a great roster and great people are there. But El Cheapo has come in, and as you kind of explained, it's not uncommon for a new owner to come in and slash some salaries and want to bring in their own people. Cutting Kevin Calabro is a very, very weird decision. But does shed more light that Tom Dundon, El Cheapo, the new owner of the Portland Trailblazers, is not really worried about talent. He's not really worried about any of those things. He's just going to go the cheap route, and he doesn't really care about how it affects the team or the fans or anything.
by the way, the subprime contract offer, that is the same as firing. I mean, that's
right.
basically what the Utes did to Kyle Whittingham.
Mm-hmm.
Said, hey, I'm interested in coaching another year. And they said, hey, great, here's your
Cool.
contract.
Here's half of what you used to make.
Yeah. I remember he had to cede power to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about this, Ben, and you know what? I bet Calabro made a lot of dough.
He's been doing it for a long time.
Been doing it a long time. I bet he was not cheap, but he was really good.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason he did do it for a long time. But I was thinking of it through this. You know, I do think that Dundon is trying to move that team. And I do think that I do think he's using the same tactics as the owner from the movie Major League.
Uh-huh.
That he's just going to make everybody angry, and he's going to cheap out the whole team so that basically he can move it without any sort of pushback. And I started thinking about this. Should the lady from Major League, should she have fired Harry Doyle? Should she have fired Bob Uecker?
Is that where she should have gone?
Is that where she failed? Because firing the popular play-by-play guy, I mean, imagine if the Jazz ever fired Rod Hundley.
Or Bowler.
Or Bowler.
Or Thurl.
Or Luck. I don't want
Yeah,
to leave, of course, David out of the conversation. But it would be really unpopular.
Extremely, yeah.
So turning around and firing Calabro is just another thing that's going to be extremely unpopular with the Portland fan base. And I do think it's intentional. I do. I think they're trying they're trying to get out of there. They don't want a rebuilt dumpy building. They want to go to a different market. I don't know what that market would be. If I were Vegas, I would certainly hold out for an expansion team. I wouldn't make the same mistake I made in baseball.
I don't think owners would allow a relocation of Portland to one of the expansion cities that have these purported $10 billion expansion costs coming.
But as we found out in the NFL, sometimes it's not quite that simple. It was a race to Los Angeles in the NFL, if you remember. And I don't remember how the rules exactly worked, but the Rams were going for sure. And then the Chargers and the Raiders were both moving and both wanted to move to L.A., and the Chargers got priority. And I'm trying to remember what the reason was. But the Chargers end up in L.A., and then the Raiders end up in Vegas, which is ridiculous because they should have just flipped that because nobody cares about the Chargers in L.A. But you know what a lot of people in L.A. care about? The Raiders.
The Raiders.
But anywho, that's what I guess my point is. It's not always that simple. And if there was some race to Vegas and that's what Dundon was really up to, that wouldn't shock me.
Oh, I'm sure there's a race to Vegas. There's no question about that.
Wouldn't shock me.
If I'm one of the other 29 owners in the NBA, I say, no, I want your relocation fee for moving to Columbus or Raleigh or wherever you're trying to get to, and then I want the expansion fee of Vegas too. Why would I cut off one of my hands when I get them both? Like, no, I can get two different fees, relocation and expansion. We'll see. Maybe,
I don't know what the rules are.
Maybe it's just easy. Maybe you've already got a spot there. But I think the NBA wants to add two teams and get the expansion fees of both of those versus a relocation. I just think Tom Dundon's a bad guy. I think Jazz fans, despite the fact that you've not won an NBA championship, should feel pretty lucky that this is the type of owner you used to have in the early 80s before the Millers came in and took the Jazz out of obscurity. And then Ryan Smith took the team and I think has probably taken it, if not just carried it on, potentially taken it to the next level. And again, it's going to come down to winning. And tip of the cap to the Millers who did get to the Jazz to the finals.
But I think it's important that you're comparing it to Ryan. He was very adamant he wanted to keep the team here.
Yes, absolutely, no question. He never held anyone hostage for that.
And I truly believe that Gail Miller, when she says that she would never have sold the team to Ryan in the first place unless she was assured that the team was going to stay here. And he's invested like the team is going to stay here for the long haul. And he said he's been nothing but Utah's biggest advocate, basically. Tom Dundon is not that. He's not from there. Why would he want honestly, there are probably more lucrative markets out there than Portland. Portland is not a big market.
Correct.
In fact, Portland and Salt Lake are right on basically the same level, right? As far as market size goes. So, I mean, the Clay Bennett, the guy who moved the Sonics, he wanted to move them to his hometown in Oklahoma City. I don't know where Dundon would move the Blazers. Like, if there was a possibility to get him to Vegas, that makes a ton of sense. But he's not moving them to Raleigh because they wouldn't let two teams be that close to one another. Raleigh and Charlotte are not far apart.
I don't think so. But
I mean, he could go with like southeastern Virginia and like the Tidewater area if he wanted to go into that part of the country. But I don't know if they're not certainly proven to support any sort. So like, where else would he go?
Does New Jersey want a team back? I have no idea.
There's no way the Grizzlies would let him move to Nashville.
Vancouver. There are teams.
Which already was a terrible basketball team.
They're trying to expand again. Vancouver is trying to get back into the business.
Do you remember how bad, like Toronto has always been a really good basketball city. It's not a Canada thing. Toronto has always supported the Raptors. You remember how poorly the Grizzlies were supported?
I do.
Nobody cared. Nobody went. It was a terrible basketball
Canadian
town.
basketball has changed dramatically since then. But yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm not trying to be
I
ignorant
just
of
don't know. I don't know where. I honestly don't know where they would go.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know either, and maybe they don't. But regardless, again, you can go back to the Millers and now Ryan Smith. I mean, look at Sacramento. They went from the Maloofs to Vivek Randavive, who's maybe dumber than the Maloofs somehow.
The Maloofs were garbage owners, too.
Horrendous.
They happened to have a good team accidentally for like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and
no,
they
garbage.
They were
They went from
terrible.
garbage to garbage.
Yep.
Sarver, garbage. I mean, there are garbage owners out there. Alex Murillo was a bozo in Arizona with the Coyotes. Like, again, it would be nice if you're a Jazz fan for the team to break through and get to the mountaintop. And you look around, and a lot of teams around them have, and other small market teams have found a way to break through. Until the Jazz do that, I don't think you need to bend over backwards thanking ownership for whatever they've done. But, man, it could be so much worse. Man, it could be cutting corners like this.
Having a bad owner is really just awful. I mean, I know the Knicks just won the title, and good for them. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut. But remember the previous 20 years of just buffoonish behavior.
Yep.
Yeah.
For no reason.
The only smart thing he did ever is hire Leon Rose.
Mm-hmm. And maybe get out of the way a little bit.
Well, yeah, because it's much like Ryan hiring Danny. Like, people know Leon Rose was the super agent in the NBA before he took that job, right?
Yes. Right. I would imagine.
Okay, we love Justin Zanuck on this show, but Justin Zanuck was an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Zanuck was not Leon Rose.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't hire Leon Rose to boss him around. Ryan couldn't hire Danny Ainge to boss him around.
Right. Scott Boras in Major League Baseball.
Leon Rose was basically that. Yeah. He was the David Falk of his day.
Yeah.
Who was Stockton's agent.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, cutting a play. I have no idea what Kevin Calabro was making. Maybe it was 7 figures at this point because he's been around that long. But, like, the savings you're getting.
Oh, he wasn't making $1 million.
I doubt it.
No,
I doubt it.
He wasn't making $1 million.
So, again, we're talking about maybe a few $100,000 you're saving. Like, that's where, for a beloved figure in the Portland area.
For PR reasons alone, you should just pay the freight.
Just pay it.
But, no, I don't. But he doesn't care about being popular. He doesn't care about
Yeah, it's
any
too
of
bad
that.
because the Trailblazers have been one of the cooler teams in the NBA historically.
I just don't understand how. Well, I do, because he's got to be trying to move the team. There's no other explanation. Because you're in the business of selling tickets. I get it that it's not everything in the NBA anymore, the turnstile. But imagine if back in the day, the Barnum and Bailey circus going from town to town. Imagine if they got to town and the first thing they did was set a bunch of fires.
Uh-huh.
Do you think many people are going to buy tickets, like burn down the local city hall? You think people are going to be scrambling to go see the circus at that point? Like, you come to town and you just tick everybody off? Nobody's going to buy tickets. Why would you purposely anger everybody right when getting to town?
Sometimes people tell you exactly what their intentions are. And Tom Dundon has walked into Portland and committed the Red Wedding. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, it's got to be. He's got to be trying to move the team.
He's burning every bridge he can because he wants to disassociate the team from the city so he can move the team. Seems to be the only logical explanation.
Got to be.
Yep. It's too bad. That stinks.
Because in all honesty, you can get away with come in, have some layoffs because you're bringing in different people and you're going to change how things are done. You can do dramatic changes. Mark Cuban dramatically changed everything about the Dallas Mavericks.
Mm-hmm.
There's no rule that you have to come in and just fall in line because it's always been done that way before. But to come in just guns blazing and just be a PR disaster from day one, no way.
Especially because it seems like he does know how to own a team. I mean, his hockey team just won the Stanley Cup.
No, that's the problem is because it's proving the concept because he behaves this way in hockey.
He's also
too.
cheap there.
He has the coach on a year-to-year contract. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
In today's day and age in professional sports? So he's going to tell you that it works. But I don't know. I'm not close enough to Raleigh to know if he really behaves that way publicly with the fans like he is doing in Portland.
Yeah.
Well, good luck wherever, maybe Jacksonville, Ben. You love Jacksonville.
Sure, be great.
Does Buffalo need a basketball team?
Probably take one. Why not?
Or maybe if they're going to go Canada, Vancouver, since that was a disaster, maybe you pick like Montreal or something. Ottawa, yeah. Manitoba?
Sure.
What do you think?
I'd love it.
All right. Stay tuned. We will get to more coming up next. This is Jake and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Not only do these guys give you the best Jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're teaming up with Beehive Meals, honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at kslsports.com/contest. And listen every Thursday to this show, Jake and Ben, for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Yeah.
Can I talk about an experience I had on public transportation?
Sure.
For a second? I'm pro public transportation. It's a service. I'm sure we lose a fortune on it every year. I still think there are a lot of people who may find themselves in whatever I'm dealing with my brain abscesses, that I can't drive for 3 months because I had a seizure, or have other medical issues, or for whatever reason, can't afford a car, can't afford insurance, can't afford gasoline. I have sympathy for all of it. And I'm very pro public transportation. I took the bus and the train in today. But I did have my first incident yesterday riding home from work. I had my headphones in and I'm not paying attention. I just minded my own business. Some guy walks up on the left of me to this man who's sitting 2 or 3 rows in front of me. And I could tell the guy 2 or 3 rows in front of me. You can tell some people just get on the bus because it's the only thing going on. So this guy's on the bus, and this guy comes up on the left of me, walking up the aisle, and apologizes to the guy 3 seats in front of me. I thought, oh, nice of him to apologize. And the guy responds with some foul language. Something, yada, 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 get off the bus. And then starts waving his hand around. And I look down, and there is yellow fluid all over me. Yellow something all down my shirt, all over my pants, and I can't see where this man's hands have been. So inevitably, my mind is racing. What on earth am I covered in now? And how quickly can I get up and leave without causing a scene and also not angering this person further or angering myself further, because I was also pretty perturbed about the whole situation. I get up, I look at myself, I see the fluid all over me, I have some tissues in my backpack. I'm like, I'm going to walk to the back of the train and I'm going to wipe myself off. And I just got to go 25 more blocks and I'll get off and I'll be okay. And I'm wiping myself down, and some smell is now at the back of the train with me. And my question is, did I carry this smell with me? Is this yellow fluid fecal matter? Or is something else going to, is there a smelly person on the back of the train that I'm sitting by? So I get to the back of the train, I'm wiping myself off, we get to the next station, and I see there's a police officer at the stop. Which is, they're around. Cops are great. They're just kind of around. And I'm thinking, do I need to knock on the window and tell this cop to get on the train because this guy's going nuts in the front? And I realize, oh, the cop's getting on. And then I suddenly recognize there are 5 more cops that have jumped on this train immediately, and they are going directly to this man. And we are stuck at this station. We are not moving. So somebody has called the police, and they end up talking to this other couple that's on, this young couple that's on the train as well, who it sounds like this guy had harassed. They grab him. They gently carry him off the train. He's kind of fighting back. These cops show incredible restraint. Tip of the cap to the first responders. And I see his hands are all yellow. And I thought, did he have his hands in a diaper? I don't know what was going on. And they get him over to a planter, and they set him down. And because he's a mess, they put him in handcuffs for his own safety. And they grab a tin. And I realized this man was eating mustard sardines out of the can. And got yellow mustard all over his hands.
Yeah.
And it was just so all over his fingers that when he was causing a scene, I was getting covered in mustard sardines, which in certain scenarios would be the worst case
But this wasn't so bad.
In fact, this was maybe the best case scenario, right?
Sardines don't have hepatitis.
That was my guess from the very beginning. That was my guess.
Okay, mustard. That was my hope, was this guy went to Chick-fil-A and had some honey mustard or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know if this man had eaten recently. I have no idea. I've got photos on my phone. I'll show you photos of the arrest and the man. But, because I filmed the whole thing. But not out of a lack of respect for the person, but because I knew this was a story that was mine now. Good outcome. Now, when I got on the bus, if you had said you're going to leave covered in mustard sardines, I would have said I'm not getting on the bus. But after it happens, and the potential number of things it could have been, the fluids it could have been, sardine mustard is not the worst situation.
No.
So if that's the worst case scenario, knock on wood, that I end up having during my current run of taking public transportation, I will accept that that's the bottom end of the spectrum.
No, it probably can get worse.
Oh, it can definitely get worse. Yeah, I have no doubt it can. If I'm saying this is as bad as it gets, I'll count that as a victory. That'll be my glass half full. Sardine mustard all over myself. Because for a minute there, I thought it was way worse, and I thought, I'm going back to the hospital. I have to go back and figure out what I'm covered in.
I think maybe we should get you some mace or something.
I, for the first time, thought, do I need to start carrying some type of defense system?
Yeah, pepper spray.
Pepper spray, switchblade, I don't know.
Switchblade? Really? You don't go to stun gun, you go to switchblade?
You know, when you're covered in stinky yellow and you don't know what it is, your mind isn't measured.
I still have no interest in stabbing anybody.
No, I generally don't either. And I didn't bring a switchblade to work with me or
Thank
put one
goodness.
in my backpack, nor do I own a switchblade. I don't think you can legally own one. I also don't own a stun gun.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's where my mind would go. Or maybe take some, what do they call, like jujitsu or something.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go right to the switchblade, but
I also don't know if I want to get into a wrestling match with Yellow Hand. Like I didn't at that point know what it was. I hadn't seen the can of sardines.
Well, if his face and eyeballs are on fire, then he's probably not doing that, right?
Well, if it's jujitsu,
okay,
then we're talking hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, I see.
I don't want any physical interaction.
No. You light him up with the bear spray.
Okay. That's probably the right answer.
Bear mace. You remember that South Park where Cartman was playing like he was Dog the Bounty Hunter? And he just walked around saying, bear mace that guy. Bear mace that guy. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what we're talking about.
All right.
No, but you do need to go to like Sportsman's Warehouse.
Well, I'm going to Yellowstone. This weekend, I should just say this is for the Bears and also
for the bus.
Any man with sardines who wants to spray the sardines.
You could have neutralized that guy, no problem, and probably caused a problem for the rest of the bus. But
yes, that train would have been unrideable. The ventilation systems are not that good, hence the smell in the back of the train.
That guy would be down.
But I would have neutralized that problem.
And I'd much rather bear mace a guy than stab them. That's
of course. Yes. I don't.
Let's forget about this.
You know what? I went to the back of the train.
Come up?
I was panicking. I have just been in the hospital for a week. By the way, I got the bill for that today. Thank goodness for insurance.
Yeah, shout out.
Woo-hoo. 6 days in the hospital. Yikes. But I hope this guy's doing okay. I hope the sardine guy's all right.
Do you?
I'm no ill will. I think he was having an episode. He had a bottle of some type of liquor with him when they pulled him off the train as well.
Yeah, but probably shouldn't be harassing people.
I totally agree. 100%. And again, shout out to the police officers who were Johnny on the spot. They were there right away. They defused. They did not escalate. They put him in handcuffs for his safety. And I think they took the handcuffs off before the train even pulled away from the station. I think they just realized this is a person having an episode, needed some fresh air and some black coffee and a bath, and would be all right. So I'm rooting for that guy. I'm thankful for the police officers, and I'm still giving a vote of confidence, thumbs up, for public transportation.
Put your clothes in the wash when you get home?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't have to I didn't have to go into the hospital like in a hazmat suit. So I don't know what's on me. Pray for everyone. I don't know what this is.
When I was working the front desk at a hotel, we had somebody come in and bleed all over the front desk.
Oof.
And that definitely was more of a to-do than I knew at the time.
Yeah.
because they had to bring people in to
clean it up.
So, yeah, I'm glad you didn't get covered in hepatitis juice. That's really a good thing.
Same.
That would have been a bad way to, I almost said cap off the week, but it was Tuesday. That would be a bad way to
kick off the week.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Rough. Like, sorry, sir, you got to go back to the hospital because you might have some sort of blood-borne illness.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds awful.
I had another lady, my first day on the bus, who I was on the bus and another woman was on there with me, and this other lady tries to get on and says she's pleading with the bus driver to take her to her friend's house. And the bus driver's like, no, I'm not a taxi. I have a route I have to take, and I have to go straight down this road to get to the train. And she asks me, the woman asks me, and then the woman asks the other woman on the train or on the bus, can you take me to my friend's house? And I said, I don't care. We just need to keep moving because I got to catch this train so I can get to work. If you're close and it's on the way, I actually don't care what the bus driver does. I have sympathy for you. I get it. And she kept saying that my friend has my medication. My friend has my medication. I'm on a bunch of medication right now. I said, maybe it is an emergency. Maybe it's the real deal. And the bus driver said, where is it? And the lady pointed across the street and said, it's right there. That's my friend's house. And the bus driver, rightfully so, said, why don't you just walk across the street and get it? She was also having an issue. And I thought that might be the worst, but the sardine guy has topped her.
Good times.
Yeah, well, it's always exciting.
No, I'm glad that public transportation is around. I agree with you. I would be lying if I said that I was a fan.
You're not looking for it. You're not going out of your way to take it.
I'm happy it exists.
Yes. It's a real service.
It is a real service. Yeah. But
sometimes there's some excitement on it that you don't get in your sedan.
Well, you're like a in my sedan, yeah. You're a New York guy. You like the Big Apple. We visited friends in New York, and I had no idea it was such like a taboo to take a cab.
Yeah.
And I was like, why would I want to stuff myself onto that stupid train? Let's just take a cab.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah. But people frown upon
We could just get on that cab, in that cab. To the point where we were coming out of Central Park. It was after like a concert in the park, and I had to pee so bad. I mean, so bad. And I just told my buddy Connor, who we were with, and we were separated from the wives, and I was like, we're getting in a cab, and we are going back to your apartment, and I'm going to the bathroom. And we're in the cab, and he looks at me and he goes, don't tell Maria we took a cab. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, what's wrong with that? I thought that was the whole thing, like waving down the taxi.
Locals they're snooty about the train. The locals don't do the cab. That's
do you have a pair
thing.
of shoes that you won't throw away that your wife doesn't understand why you won't throw away, or an old T-shirt that you won't throw away?
Yeah.
That's the subway. Yeah, it's a piece of junk, but it's my piece of junk. The subway is great. To move that many people that well is truly remarkable. It is incredible. But you're right. We don't need to pretend that the cab sometimes isn't the best solution. But you're right. People frown upon your T-shirt that you should toss, or lawn mowing shoes that you should toss. But they take ownership of their own garbage.
I just think it was funny. It was like, just, hey.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell her about this.
It's not that big of a deal.
We took a cab.
Yeah, it's fine. I needed to get somewhere quickly.
We needed to go.
I didn't want to wait for the train.
We got to do something about this.
Totally fair.
Yeah, but I don't understand that impulse in that city, because that is a thing.
That's a New York thing.
Yeah.
There is a snootiness to that, no question.
All right. Well, good segment.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, we're good.
Sorry to break up the
show. We'll talk a little football coming up. We'll get to some sound. The SEC Media Days, the gift that keeps on giving. We'll get to that coming up. Stay tuned. It's the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Dude, I know who I'd take number one.
Okay.
THT.
He's him.
Hot dog, right off the board.
Yeah.
Number one pick. We're talking about What You Got Wednesday topics. We're going to do What You Got Wednesday at 4:30. And I think we've got two
good ones.
I think we've got two pretty good ones today. People will absolutely have an opinion on both of today's topics.
And weirdly, heavily driven by what generation you're from. Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Kind of generational.
Uh-huh. It is a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
One guy's been around so long, he's survived multiple generations, and the other one goes
All
back
over the
as far
place.
as you want.
Yeah. Well, not quite as far as you want.
Sure. There's only been films for so long.
Yeah. I guess we could pick a stage actor if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I
If
bet
you
you
really
that was.
wanna
I bet
go
you there
back
were
that
good
far.
musicians in Shakespeare's day who took the who took the stage.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, neither here nor
So,
there. We'll get there.
little tease for you for What You Got Wednesday coming up at 4:30. So make sure and stay tuned for that. Let's play this clip. SEC Media Days is going on. This is not LSU head coach, which is written on here. This is Mississippi's head coach, Pete Golding, basically defending tampering allegations while he was up at the podium.
Let me put it to you this way, okay? Like it'd be, so obviously you're a reporter, right? Would you quit your job before interviewing for another job or being offered another job? No, nobody would. But we have a portal that you can go in with a do not contact. I'm gonna quit my job where I'm getting paid, and I'm gonna go in saying I need a new job, but nobody can call me to interview. Like, what have we created? So we've created it on top of representation for these players, right? That it's their responsibility to make sure they get paid really well and they also have opportunities. So by design, it's put a lot of people in bad positions. And let's not act like recruiting in college football for the last 100 years is the most moral thing, right, that's ever been existed. I mean, like, what are we talking about here? So I'm really not going to get into my feelings, and I know how I've been educated to answer this question, right? Does that make sense? To where we have a great compliance department, right, and all those type of things. But no, I mean, the model obviously has been broken, and I'm all for everybody being on the same playing field and doing the same things. I get it, but I think that's in any job, right? Like coaches, we're under contract. You don't think other ADs are calling us during the year? Same ones that are about all this stuff are the same ones calling coaches, right, to come to other schools, right, and everything. So it's everywhere. It's in every profession. So I'm not saying I've got all the answers. I'm not saying that at all, right? Does that make sense? So we go within the rules of the program, right, and how the flow, just like when you're on the interstate and people are flying by you, what do you start doing? You're damn right you're going to get hit. Right? Does that make sense? In this profession, you're going to get fired. Right? So I'm not saying that, but I think there are a lot of people that are doing an unbelievable job, Greg being one, right, to make sure that, all right, everything's catching up. College football is constantly changing, all those type of things. So hopefully we'll all, decide on what's fair for everybody.
Who's he talking about? Who's complaining about tampering? Has there been a coach or an AD? Obviously,
I do think that's a good question. I think there is kind of this general concept, and we've talked about this with all of it, which is everyone seems to agree on the rules as a whole, and then individually you get them in a room privately and nobody wants any of the rules. So I wonder if this is kind of just a view of, yeah, behind the scenes, no one wants tampering. Nobody wants the Lane Kiffin situation. Nobody wants whatever. Head coach leaving their current job or waiting for their season to end so they can leave their current job for the next job that they've already accepted in clandestine fashion. I think in general people support the idea of it, but I don't think anyone thinks that's realistic. So you're right. I don't know what he's getting fired up about.
I think, listen, rewind the tape 15 years and people would complain about tampering. There was a Utah State basketball player. I'd have to ask Scotty. There was a Utah State basketball player that I think Chris Goviak recruited, and one of the Utah State coaches was bent out of shape about recruiting, or it might have been the other way around, or tampering. I can't remember what it was. But tampering is so commonplace now. I don't think I've heard somebody complain about tampering certainly since this new NIL stuff. I mean, because I don't know if that coach thought he was being controversial, but that's the most obvious point ever.
You're right.
He just pointed out that the sky is blue. Yeah. Everybody tampers with everybody.
It's Clemson, by the way, is alleging Ole Miss of tampering. They recruited a Clemson linebacker.
Yeah, because I'm sure they did. You know, everybody's tampering with everybody. I mean, that's how it is.
Did Arizona State get mad at LSU for tampering with Jaden Daniels? Do I remember that?
You mean Ole Miss?
Specifically? I don't think Jaden Daniels played Ole Miss, did he?
Who am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
It was LSU. Who am I thinking of? Anyway, doesn't matter.
Regardless, I mean, Arizona State tampered with Jaden Daniels after he had committed to Utah or privately committed to Utah or whatever. Just like, I don't know how far you're willing to chase this, how long you're willing to pull this thread. You're all tampering. Everyone's tampering. Yeah. Everyone's broken the rules here. So I am with you here. He sounds like he's making a big statement.
Sam Levitt. Yeah.
Being honorable. Yeah, who also left for... Is he at LSU now? Or is he at Ole Miss? Where's Sam Levitt?
He's the one who went to LSU.
Yeah. Sam Levitt went Arizona State to LSU. Jaden Daniels...
No, you're mistaken. Jaden Daniels played at LSU. Won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Got drafted by the Commanders.
They both went to LSU. Neither of them are at Ole Miss.
Yes.
Okay.
But I was thinking of Jackson Dart for some reason. I don't know.
Okay.
That was my fault. Who transferred from USC to Ole Miss. I created the confusion here.
And they were all tampered with.
But they're all to the point where we're so confused about who's tampering with who because everybody's doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's why I'm saying I haven't heard anybody complain about it. Now you say Clemson, that actually makes some sense because Dabo Swinney still thinks he's coaching in 2008.
He thinks nobody's supposed to be tampering.
He's still operating under the old rules, which is probably why the Tigers haven't been good, really, since the rules changed. So kind of not a surprise, I guess, that they are the ones that are complaining about it. But, I mean, let's use Bronco, for example. Bronco can't complain about, I don't know, Utah tampering with his players because Bronco is tampering with New Mexico's players or San Jose State's players or whatever, you know? Mm-hmm. Because if he's not doing it, then he's not going to get any players. Because as this coach so accurately pointed out, these players technically can't be contacted when they're in the transfer portal. So that means that they know where they're going. I mean, he's talking about how you don't quit your job until you have been offered another one. I mean, it's the most plain thing ever. Every team has to tamper or you're not going to get any players.
And that's everywhere.
That's everywhere.
That's at every single level.
That's at every school, at every level. Yeah, I'm sure that Weber State could complain up and down about tampering constantly. But if they're not tampering to get their next player, then they're in trouble too. So I don't understand how anybody could actually really be complaining about it. Because it's just how it is. Now, if you want to call out the hypocrisy of the situation, I'm all for it. But they stopped enforcing those rules decades ago. So I don't know what you'd be complaining about.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And again, I'm not defending Golding here for his approach or take on tampering. Ideally, you would have your contract would end, and then you would start talking to somebody else, you know. But that's not how the world works. And everyone knows that's not how the world works. That's not how the world works in radio. It's not how the world works in football. That's not how the world works in any sport or anywhere you have to have a contract of any kind. So you're right. He's taking a really loud, holier-than-thou approach that nobody's arguing against.
Did you see, and it's, by the way, this is just another example of how the college sports is so unbelievably broken, it's hard to watch. But did you see that Tommy Tuberville, who is the senator from the great state of Alabama, is going to put forth a different college football bill?
I did.
It's just going to be, they might as well call it the SEC bill.
Uh-huh.
The only thing in it is 5 years to play 5 and 1 transfer.
It's just about eligibility.
That's it.
It's exclusively what it is.
Now, I am frustrated with the other bill, Ben, because, and I believe it was Mark Harlan who was talking about this at Media Days. But the bill as it was originally started was pretty snappy. It was pretty good. They have stuffed a million. I mean, this is typical.
It's every bill.
Washington, whatever. Yeah. They have stuffed a million things into that bill and have complicated everything. They're trying to limit conference sizes and do all this crazy stuff. And so now we've got either the world's slimmest bill that you might as well not even exist.
Or the most bloated
Or
bill.
the bloated thing that is way too complicated for anybody's good.
Right.
And I guess if I have to pick between the two, I'm rooting for the bloated mess. Because that other thing, I don't. Great, 5 years to play 5, terrific. They're going to do that anyway. I mean, I would love to see one transfer and one transfer only, sure. But on the list of things that are currently wrong with college, football in this case, where does that rank?
Low.
Well, I don't know about low, but probably like 10.
Yeah, it's not the top thing that needs to be addressed.
No, it's not the top thing that needs to be addressed. I mean, there's no parameters for NIL, nothing in there about rev share or any of the stuff that absolutely needs to be hammered out for us to figure out what a new normal is even going to be. And so, I don't know. I had a lot of hope for that, considering it was the bloated one, because it was bipartisan, and nothing comes out bipartisan anymore. And it had a good chance to pass committee, and
it got through committee, didn't it?
I believe it did get through committee. It has not come to the floor
because there's a reason.
So I don't know. I was optimistic about it, and now I am not.
Yeah, we thought maybe the Sorsby stuff would give it a little momentum. Like, maybe this is the perfect storm of somebody trying to break the rules or one school trying to break the rules so badly, everyone will rally and say something's better than nothing. And that got squashed quickly.
Yeah, well, part of the reason is part of the momentum behind the bipartisan bill was the guy who was fighting for the gambling guy. Cody Campbell or whatever his name is part of the momentum for this legislation in the Senate. And the fact that he was also the motivation, or I guess behind saving Brendan Sorsby, that probably didn't help.
Didn't help at all. No. And then everyone starts to doubt one another. And then again, you get behind closed doors and everyone wants rules for everyone else and no restrictions for themselves.
But, I mean, the fact that it was Tommy Tuberville, not only is he a former SEC coach, but, being a senator from where he's from, the SEC doesn't want any of that. They'd rather have nothing than
correct. A huge bloated bill.
Than a huge bloated, I would dare say, any sort of legislation.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't surprise me that they would want one transfer because what was the SEC's, the key to their dominance used to be that they had 3 deep of All-Americans. With these multiple transfers, you can't stay 3 deep of All-Americans anymore. That third string stud player
goes and finds a starting job
is going somewhere else, is going to go take a payday somewhere else, or is going to transfer somewhere else. No longer can you take an All-American tailback and say, hey, guess what? We'll play you as a redshirt junior.
Your turn. Yeah, wait your turn, and you'll still get to the NFL. No, you're costing yourself cash that day.
So not a shock that the SEC would be like, one transfer and that's it, because we want to get you and we want to keep you.
We want to lie to you and tell you you're going to start day one, and then you have no way of getting out of the program. Absolutely right.
And they don't have the financial support the Big Ten does, or at least part of the Big Ten does. So, I mean, not a surprise that that's what the SEC senator would be pushing. But the truth is, without that part of the country, none of this stuff is getting done. Which is why Bowlesby is talking about, oh, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do our own thing.
I have basically lost all faith in the ability for any of this to get regulated unless you find a way to make these players employees, and I don't think that's probably possible either.
Well, I think I don't even think that would do it at this point.
I think the best bet would be to have each individual sport collectively bargaining. But not even each individual sport wants to break out into being employees. That's not good for the swim team. It's not good for the lacrosse team. It's not good for the softball team in most leagues. So, yeah, no, that's probably not going to happen either. And if the football teams or the basketball teams break off to be their own league and are no longer sanctioned by the NCAA or are semi-pro, the rest of those other teams go away. I mean, it's why Title IX actually was a good thing and why it existed and was beneficial.
I still don't know how they're getting around Title IX with all of this. I still have never heard an explanation with how that's even possible.
But I honestly do feel bad. The system feels broken beyond repair.
But tampering, I mean, okay.
Way to take a stand.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Man, not a square.
I want the field to stay 100 yards.
Right. Thanks for pointing out the obvious.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Is that going to you going to address any of the other real problems going on?
No, it's like that the superhero that South Park created, Captain Hindsight. He flies in out of nowhere and he's like, "You should have done this. You should have done this," and then takes off. Yeah,
Thanks for your help.
We need the Ole Miss coach to come in and say, everybody tampers. You don't say. The system is set up to basically encourage tampering. No way. Yeah. Get out of there. I had no idea.
Way to stand for something.
But shame on Clemson. I mean, come on.
Yeah, shame on
What are you doing? The building's burning down around you, and you're like, hey, I think I smell smoke.
She's putting some sprinklers. No, it's already on fire.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but it's too late.
All right, we'll have more Jake and Ben coming up next. What You Got Wednesday at 4:30, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Bike's sputtering on me.
That's not what you want on a cross-country trip.
Yeah, you're telling me. Looks like my journey ends here.
No, mate. You ride with Geico Motorcycle Insurance and got their 24/7 emergency roadside service. They'll fix your bike right up. Where you headed, anyways?
Oh, I'm going to Cromenge. You ever been?
No, I can't say I have.
It's like Stonehenge, but shiny.
It feels good to ride with help. It feels good to Geico. Emergency roadside service is optional coverage.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Just doing it big,
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Join Scotty and the coach, Tim Lacombe, coming up tomorrow from 10 to 2 at Tim Daly Mazda in Sandy, 10785 South Auto Mall Drive. Like, for example, Ben, Tim Tebow. Ben and I were talking about the broadcasters, and we were talking about the ESPN layoffs, and I saw a story where Tim Tebow actually got a new contract. Not only did he not get laid off, he got a new contract. And we were talking about the balance between good broadcaster and athletic reputation. Because you can get your foot in the door as a former athlete in broadcasting because you were a player or because you had a name or whatever. But usually those that stick around are either so uberly famous that it doesn't matter, or they're actually pretty good. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a better name than Tim Legler right now, especially because I don't like him. But he's been an analyst for a zillion years. He was a hugely average player. So if he's made it in the broadcasting world for 20 years, he probably knows what he's doing. He's probably a pretty talented broadcaster because you're not keeping him around because he was some legend, right? Tim Tebow, now I'm not that familiar with his broadcasting because he's on the SEC network. I bet it's awful. But because he's Tim Tebow, he gets a new contract.
Shaq,
right?
Never going to get fired.
Never going to get fired because he's Shaq. And he's
terrible.
dreadful.
He's dreadful. Yeah,
Just dreadful.
It's the difference between Kenny Smith and Shaq are on the same show.
Right.
Kenny was a very average player.
He started on a title team, but yeah.
Average player. Yeah, fine. Had a good career. Didn't make $1 trillion.
He was better than Tim Legler, but yeah.
He's better than Tim Legler. Yes, you're right. But probably still needs to work. Needed to make a little bit of extra money for the rest of his life. Good to keep his...
Yeah.
Good to stay busy.
But has great broadcasting chops. He's really, really good at it.
I bet you he's super easy to work with.
Yep.
You know, because you can't be a headache.
Right.
The truth is you can't be a headache. They'll just replace you with some other, the modern Kenny Smith, which could be Michael Redd. You know, whoever, whatever.
Yeah.
They'll go out and find somebody who Christian's heard of. You know, Christian never saw Kenny Smith play. That's fine. But there are a million Kenny Smiths since Kenny Smith has left the NBA. So Kenny's got to probably be willing to work for a little less than you would think. Is probably the first guy in the building. Probably nice to the entire staff. Yeah, Legler's probably the same way.
But, like, honestly, Tom Brady...
But Shaq is so famous, he can just do whatever he wants. Be miserable. Tom Brady can be a horrendous color analyst.
He could just fart into the microphone.
It's Tom Brady.
And they would not fire him.
Correct.
They would say, oh, you're killing it, Tom. Nailing it.
The best we've heard.
They literally are ignoring league rules for him to be a broadcaster because he's Tom Brady. There's no way he should be allowed to be a broadcaster, an analyst on other teams' games when he is part owner of an NFL team.
Right.
That is ludicrous.
Insane.
Absolutely insane. But because he's Tom Brady, everybody's like, well, sure.
Sure.
That's fine.
Love to have you.
I mean, even other teams. Well, aren't you worried about Tom, whose team has a history of spying on people? Aren't you worried about Tom spying on you? Oh, kind of, but...
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's Tom Brady.
So it's Tom Brady.
So everything's fine, you know? And this business is kind of funny that way because you do get credibility from your previous life as an athlete or a coach or whatever. You know, our guy Tim Lacombe, who I think is, you know, I've been doing broadcasts with Tim for a long time now, and he's turned into such a really talented broadcaster. But it helps that he was also on some of the most legendary coaching staffs in this state and gives him a little credibility. But I'll tell you this, if Tim wasn't a good broadcaster, it wouldn't last long. He wouldn't have been on the Jazz broadcast for 6 years, let alone now be doing a great show with Scotty G, right? So I wonder, like, who from this era will go into being a broadcaster and how good or bad will they be depending on how good or bad maybe. I don't know. Who's the best example of great player and great broadcaster? Maybe Charles.
Chuck is probably the best.
Reggie Miller I'd put up there. I might be in the minority.
He's gotten much better.
I like
Reggie's gotten much better, especially as a color analyst.
I like Reggie as an analyst.
I agree. He's gotten way better. I mean, Terry Bradshaw was a Hall of Fame player. Is very entertaining. He's not anymore, but he was good in his prime.
I think Grant Hill's really good.
Grant Hill's pretty smart.
Greg Olson's good on the NFL side.
Yeah, Greg Olson's good.
But he wasn't a great player. He was
a good
okay.
player. He's not a great player.
He was okay, but like even as a tight end, right? If Travis Kelce wanted a TV job after he retired, he'd have one day one. Greg Olson wasn't that type of player.
He probably already has one lined up.
He might already have it. In all honesty, he might already have it lined up. Greg Olson wasn't that, even though he was probably a Pro Bowl tight end several times over. So, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not familiar. Ryan Clark got let go at ESPN. Again, I never really watch ESPN, so I'm not all that familiar with his work. But he wasn't a great player, and he's been on ESPN for 10 years. I bet he's probably a pretty good broadcaster.
And probably pretty easy to work with. Or maybe he wasn't.
Well, I don't know.
Not employed anymore.
I have no idea. But you're not just some... You know, I started for a couple of years as a defensive back, right, in the NFL, and then stay on ESPN for 10 years if you're not, at least you have some charisma or able to command an audience in some way, shape, or form.
Chris Collinsworth, pretty good crossover of player and analyst.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame player too, right?
Yeah. And Troy Aikman's pretty good. He's not perfect, but Troy Aikman's pretty good.
He's been doing it for a long time now.
And was a really good player.
Oh, John Madden was was a Hall of Fame coach.
Yeah. There are some. Frank Layden could have done whatever he wanted. I mean, Frank Layden did do pre-half and post for the Jazz on TV for a while. Would have been a very good color analyst. Hot Rod needed the job because he flamed out as a player.
Probably. I think Richard Jefferson's really good.
RJ's
and
really good.
he was an all-star, but he was not a Hall of Fame, got to hire this guy because he's so famous type of player. And I think he might be ESPN's best game analyst.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair.
Who did the finals this year? Was he on the finals?
He was on the finals. There was another player and Breen. Can't remember who it was, but yeah.
Yeah, he's really good. Not surprised he didn't get. He kept his job. But then again, you and I were talking about how they're so about broadcasting games. I don't know, did Ryan Clark ever do analyst work? Because that's probably a pretty safe job. Not a studio guy, but actually a in-game analyst.
I also would guess people don't recognize, and look, I'm not trying to pretend that job's harder than your job if you're listening. I mean, you work 9 to 5 or whatever. Maybe you work 2 jobs, and you don't make as much money as Richard Jefferson does. There is more to some of those jobs than maybe people recognize. And that's why a lot of former players don't keep doing them, is because there's actually a lot of travel. It's a big time commitment. You are not around your family the entire time. And when you've made that much money, why would you not want to be around your family or not want to be on vacation all the time? Some guys are happy to go back to work and keep working. I get why a lot of guys don't.
What do you bet me Michael Jordan would be a terrible analyst, but any network would pay any amount of money?
Oh, what did NBC give him to come in and shoot one video with Mike Tirico for 40 minutes that they cut into 22 segments that they played throughout the NBA season? I mean, they probably paid him $5 million for 40 minutes. Yeah. And then they could advertise, Michael Jordan's on our staff. Michael Jordan's going to be a part of our pre-half and post-game shows. And it wasn't. He wasn't. The clips were nothing. Other than the one when he said I hadn't shot a free throw in years and I had to make one in front of a family that I was renting my house to. That was the only thing anyone remembers. But, yeah, I'm sure they paid a fortune. To your point, Tom Brady could get to a microphone and fart for 40 minutes, and people would be like, well, it's worth every penny.
It's Tom.
It's Tom.
Terrific. He really thinks the game.
Captain America.
He just does it so well.
Mark Sanchez, great player and broadcaster.
Superstar player.
He actually was not a bad broadcaster.
No, he was fine.
Now, a bad drunk, yes.
Did try to kill him.
Bad broadcaster, no.
Yeah.
I think the court date got moved back.
Yeah, I was going to say, whatever happened with Mark?
I just saw last week, like, the court date was pushed back a couple months.
He was he in Indy? Or was he in Cincinnati?
Yes,
where he's in
Indy, yeah.
He tried to kill the man delivering soup or like picking up oil from the hotel?
Yeah, it was oil. Yeah, it was the oil guy. Yeah. You know what? Honestly, that's
tough break, Mark. That was nuts, man.
I'll reference your life hero, Adam Sandler. Do you remember his old audio album where it was like, and this is the sound of somebody beating the crap out of a high school janitor? You don't remember that? It's just some guy whistling and like mop, mop, mop all day long, and then someone comes up and beats him up out of nowhere. It's remarkably funny.
It's funny.
Here is a grease guy.
Yeah, right.
Cleaning out the grease traps in the middle of the night.
Up.
Yeah, you're getting beaten up.
Yeah.
Here's what that sounds like. Yeah.
September 8th. Mark your calendars.
When did this happen?
Last
during
year.
the original season.
Yeah, it was last fall.
Because he got fired the day of a game or the night before a game.
The morning of a game, yeah.
Yeah, and they
this
had
happened on a Saturday night.
An emergency replacement. That's right.
Because he was in Indianapolis for the Colts game. And then overdid it.
Or whatever.
And then was walking around for some reason and saw the grease guy. He didn't like the cut of his jib.
I'm going to destroy this
So
man.
had to beat that guy up. And then he had a knife. The driver had a knife. And then the driver ended up getting stabbed.
The driver had a knife, pulled it to defend himself. Sanchez got it and then cut the guy's face up.
I think so. It's quite the night.
What a story.
What's a faster crash out? That or Sharon Moore? Might be that.
Sharon's took some time, it sounds like. In fact, some of the things that have come out since they're replacing the athletic director, or he's, quote, stepping down with a Ward manual, was that like on the road, people are like, you got to stop hanging out with this woman.
Yeah, they told him.
They told him, like, you got to stop. Cut this out. This is inappropriate. She's an intern. This is not going to end well. And he blew right past the yellow light.
Well, yeah, because apparently there was no oversight whatsoever of that athletic department in any way, shape, or form.
And what did they do? Won, baby. They won a basketball championship. They won a football championship. Right. Everyone looked the other way. They got to win a whole lot. And that's why they did it. But now they're paying the price a little.
Well, yeah. I'm trying to think of the culture that Coach Witt inherited.
We were going to talk about this. We never really broke into it.
How he's going to meld with that culture.
He is a little bit Bronco in the early 2000s at BYU. He's going to be on cleanup duty.
I know, but how does that go with the Michigan people? You know, we can get into it next.
Yeah, it's interesting.
All right, stay tuned. It's Jake and Ben, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Let's give away some Royals tickets, shall we? Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. We're going to hook you up with a 5-pack of tickets to go see the Utah Royals take on the Washington Spirit on Wednesday, July 29th at America First Field. Kickoff for that game will be at 7 o'clock. You can be going if you're caller number 12, and you will get a 5-pack of tickets.
Very cool.
Yeah, go enjoy it. I'm sure it's going to be beautiful. Again, summer nights down at that stadium.
Hard to beat.
Pretty special.
Yeah.
Particularly in the months of May and June when Major League Soccer will not be playing with the new calendar.
Yeah.
All right, we were talking about Michigan. At Michigan. Can we play that? Did you ever find that? The president of Michigan and her speech, Mary Sue Coleman? As long as we're going to, can we have a little fun, Ben? As long as we're going to talk about Michigan for a moment
on this show. No fun.
Let's play this. Let's play this bit here. This is Mary Sue Coleman at, I think it was halftime of a football game.
Quite explain to me what this would be all about today. I thank you so much. And one of the things that makes me so proud is the tradition of Michigan. The great coaches that we have at Michigan. The great athletic directors that we have at Michigan. And there are two phrases that I think about all the time. The team.
She blamed that on the wind, by the way.
Somehow the wind?
That's what she blamed it on. She was not intoxicated. No, it was just
the wind blew.
It was windy.
7 beers into my mouth during the first half of the game.
Wind, I think, was the name of the brand of schnapps that she was consuming. I love it how Michigan deteriorates throughout the the first time she says Michigan, it's pretty good, and then by the end, it's anyway. I wonder if she was the one who hired the Ward Mandel or whatever his name is, the athletic director. They're firing. Ben, I did not read that entire. Well, I guess nobody really.
Nobody has. It's not been released.
It's not, and it's not going to. Apparently, the law firm only relayed the report to Michigan verbally. Convenient.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
no paper trail.
It's obvious from what we do know about it that there was no sort of accountability over the athletic department in any way, shape, or form.
Other than Ward Manuel is being replaced.
Well, I mean, there was under Ward. There was. It was Connor Stallions. It was Jim Harbaugh doing whatever he wanted.
Absolutely.
It was Sharon Moore carrying on the mantle from Jim Harbaugh, doing whatever he wanted.
Don't tell Pete Golding, but I bet you they might have even been tampering.
Oh, you don't say. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh was like hiding in people's trees and stuff. You remember all that madness? No, but the Sharon Moore example is exactly what the problem was, because they said, Ben, you alluded to it earlier in the show, right? They told him a year before, 2 years before, listen, dude, you got to stop traveling with that gal.
Yeah.
But you notice they left it at we don't want to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
You just need to this. Yeah. We didn't confirm there was an affair. We didn't even ask.
Mm-hmm.
They knew. They just left themselves plausible deniability and let Sharon Moore do whatever he wants. Just like they let Jim Harbaugh do whatever. It's the Rick Pitino, how he didn't get busted at Louisville. Do you remember that when the prostitution, or maybe it was just an adult dancer, I don't even remember. But when that scandal hit Louisville, what was Rick Pitino? He was just, I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
They're just some rogue assistants.
How would I know?
I have absolutely no clue. That's how they were running their athletic department. No, don't tell me about it.
Don't tell me.
Yeah, go do whatever you want to do. And to your point, they won national titles.
Yep.
But they also had a coach try to threaten to kill himself with a butter knife.
It was just himself. It was not her.
I think it was just him.
Just him.
Yeah.
Correct. He pulled a butter knife on himself.
You put an idiot in a fake mustache and paraded him out to opposing teams to spy on them.
Put him on the other sideline.
Yeah. So, okay, they won, sure, but at what cost? And now they have to pay the piper. The funny part about these studies, though, is somewhere along the way they made the calculus of how far up it has to go. What is the lowest ranking person we can fire to make sure this goes away. Now, it's a little bit different because I think Michigan has an interim president. So maybe they just want to pull the Band-Aid off before they hire a new president that can come in and not have to deal with all of this mess. But someone did the calculus of, okay, the highest, this thing needs to go at least athletic director.
Yeah.
And so now he gets to stay through the end of the year, but he is out. If they could have pulled a Chris Hill and just blamed it on an associate athletic director and decided that's how high it needed to go to get to everybody to stop paying attention, then they would have done that.
It was the wind. I don't know what to tell you.
Right. It was severe enough that it had to go up to the athletic director. In the case of Penn State, it was severe enough with the Jerry Sandusky thing.
Well,
it went all
house.
the way to the top,
Clean
right?
house.
Yeah. That was such bad publicity and such a bad situation that it hit everybody. And I bet you the president of Penn State at the time probably came out and said, well, I had nothing to do with any of that. Doesn't matter. You're out. In this case, at Michigan, it went up to the AD. And now, yes, Kyle Whittingham, and we knew this when he was hired, has been hired as the straight arrow to come in and, I don't even want to say restore honor to Michigan. Did they ever have any? I don't even know. But put a better face on the whole football program.
I am curious about that aspect of it. So the comp I made was Bronco Mendenhall replacing Gary Croton. And you have said this. Look, I barely graduated high school when Bronco took over. I'd been out for a year. You were in sports?
I covered Gary's last 2 years at BYU.
So you were already there.
Yeah.
So you have said, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you kind of think Bronco even maybe took it to a step that nobody was asking him to.
Yes, I do believe
Bronco was the straightest of arrows, maybe even further than was asked of him. Now, it also helped that Bronco won a lot, had several 10-win seasons, and was a really good coach and navigated some difficulty for BYU. I am curious how much Whit feels like he has to keep this program so sanitized, so clean, that can you win at Michigan playing that way? You could win in the Mountain West Conference with Bronco cranking this up to an 11 as far as no nonsense, no alcohol. And of course, you're not supposed to have alcohol. You're not supposed to have any weed or whatever at BYU. I get it, partying, et cetera, et cetera. But he went above and beyond probably what was even expected when it came to the honor code. I am curious what Whit feels comfortable letting slide at Michigan if he feels like he's being tasked with cleaning up Sharon Moore, Ward Manuel, Harbaugh, Connor Stallion's mess. If he has to do all of it.
If I had to make a guess.
Man, remember Juwan Howard was punching people on his staff. I mean, it's been a disaster at Michigan for a while.
Well, punching another coach, right?
Yeah, punching another coach.
Yeah.
If
I had to make a bet, I would bet Whit doesn't view it that way. Maybe Michigan does. Maybe the media does. I doubt Whit does.
Okay.
I would bet he's going to go in and do the same thing he did at Utah all the time, and that was try to win his way. That whole you become us, we don't become you, he believes that. So I would guess he doesn't view it as a cleanup job. I would guess he's just going to go in and do the same stuff that he did at Utah, which is what made him successful, which Whit did to a fault. His unwillingness to be aggressive on offense at all was because it worked for him. It's what he did. His philosophy worked for him. He won a lot of football games. He won conference championships. That philosophy really worked for him. Thus, he never changed it. He would change offensive coordinators, and he would tell you, he'd be like, "Oh, wait till you see us throw the ball.
iPhone offense, baby.
Throw the ball around the yard. I mean, this is going to be. You're not going to believe it." And then you got the same thing. And he always reverted back to the mean because that's exactly what worked for him. So, I don't know. I think he was a pretty straight arrow at Utah.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm sure.
As much as you can be in
I don't think he was Bronco in 2005.
Well, see, I like your comparison conceptually, but BYU being so unique made that a totally different.
No, I think that's exactly why I'm asking. Not because I think there may be some expectation that that's what he's going to do is the Bronco thing. I actually don't think that. I don't think that's what Witt's going to do. I think there are going to be some people who think that's what Witt's going to do.
Right. Well, certainly outsiders are going to think that because they saw him as a boring, nice guy who was comfortable staying at Utah for 20 years or whatever it was.
Right.
Which is part of him. I mean,
part of his draw.
He is kind of boring, and he was comfortable staying at the same place for that long. But the dude also wants to win badly.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no cheating anymore. But would I put Witt above going in and creating a Michigan-like advantage to win at Michigan? I wouldn't doubt it. I don't think he's going to go in there and all of a sudden they're not going to. I mean, see, but that's the thing. What is cheating anymore?
No, so it's funny when you said that there's no cheating anymore. So I didn't know what you meant. You mean they don't enforce cheating anymore, or nobody's cheating anymore?
So if Michigan was cheating and running a loose ship or whatever, would Witt step in and clean all that up? Well, I don't know what there is to clean up anymore because there's not really anything that's against the rules.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's
right. Is Witt going to go in there and all of a sudden not tamper with other players? No.
He already tampered with Utah's players.
Right.
And he brought some of his previous players along with him.
They're going to pay top dollar for athletes, which is no longer cheating. I don't think he will put a fake mustache on some idiot and then send him out to spy on other teams. So I guess he won't be doing that.
I hope he doesn't for his sake.
But I do think he's got to be careful because of that he is not a Michigan man. And this applies to USC too. They keep hiring a quote-unquote USC guy or a quote-unquote Michigan man or whatever because they'll come in and not be so alarmed that, I don't know, the staff is doing cocaine in the bathroom or something. That all the bad behavior is going on. If you hire a Michigan man, he's going to come in and be like, "Oh yeah, well this is Michigan. This is how it rolls." Yeah, I still think Rich Rod is a pretty good coach. Totally failed at Michigan because he was not a Michigan guy and he tried to do his own thing and it didn't work and they turned on him quickly. I think there is a danger of that happening to Kyle Whittingham.
Not to re-rack an old conversation, but because we are talking about it, has your expectation or definition of what success is for Kyle Whittingham changed versus the day he got hired at Michigan to where we are today?
How so? Do I think he will
just in some ways, like, the dust has settled a little bit. We have the pieces have landed. His roster's done. We know what they are. We kind of have an idea of what trouble Michigan is and is not in.
I don't think he's going to win the league. He might win 10 games. Probably not going to beat Ohio State. I mean, that's just my prognosis. I don't think they're going to win 4 games.
Because if we want to continue our comparison to Bronco not only was a success as far as he got BYU's program back on track and eliminated all the noise, not all of it, but got rid of the noise, the nonsense, the criminality that was associated with BYU that they have no interest in. Not only did he clean that up, he also got them back to 10 wins, 11 wins, national relevance, at least ranked in the top 25 regularly. So that was like a huge success. I think there are probably some people who say, hey, man, if Witt can keep the NCAA out of our hair for a while, that's a success.
I don't think they care about the NCAA.
Yeah, they may not.
I don't. And Michigan is not in the toilet like BYU was, to your point. BYU had 3 losing seasons in a row under Gary Croton, and we're not looking good. Not looking like they were going to get any better.
Yeah.
That's not Michigan. What was Michigan last year? They win 9 games, 8 games? I mean,
Was
maybe
it that few even?
Maybe
I thought it might have been better than that.
Yeah, maybe not what you'd expect from Michigan, but still not bad. So, if Witt's going to go in, Bronco went 500 his first year. Well, that was a huge, heavy lift.
9-4, by the way.
And while he's revolutionizing the program, he also took a step forward, and it took him a couple of years then to get to that to winning 10 games. I don't think Witt's going to have that luxury, nor does he need it. Probably, I'd have to get more familiar about how many players he retained, but I would guess he should be able to hit the ground running. I don't know. I just don't think Michigan, the fans, I don't think they're going to like his coaching style.
I'm totally with you. He signed a 5-year deal. I think he signed 5 expecting 24 to 36 months. knowing he's going to get this $40 million payout regardless. So we got one huge payday still. Good for Witt. I don't think he probably wants to be there for 5 years. Maybe he will. Maybe he's one of these guys who actually can't quit his job, which is not specific to Witt. That's specific to coaching, it seems like. So, yeah, I don't think he's expecting to be there that long. I don't think he needs to be there for 5 years for it to be successful. It may not matter, in all honesty. It may just be, I'm here for 2 years. People can now forget about Sharon Moore. Witt's going to mostly do stuff the right way, and then they'll try and get Marcus Freeman again or whoever the next guy is, the Michigan guy. And things will probably go back to the Michigan way.
Eventually.
I doubt Kyle Whittingham. Course correction for Michigan is getting back to what Harbaugh and Sharon Moore were doing, not Witt setting them off on this, holier than thou or, true Dabo Swinney type approach. If we don't tamper, we do everything the right way.
No, I don't think that's going to be.
I don't think that's going to be.
But I don't think he's going to have an affair with his secretary.
I would be surprised.
Which was ultimately the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That was a funny bit. Whatever Michigan fan tweeted out when Witt got hired, like, look, he only follows 3 people on Instagram.
On Instagram. His wife and his daughter.
Yeah, that was it. Like, oh, this is good. Yeah, you're not going to have any of that with Coach Witt. He's a buttoned-up guy. He is. His lifestyle, from what I understand, I guess you truly never know, but his lifestyle is very boring. I think he plays a lot of golf. I do think he spends time with his grandkids. I think he kind of lives and breathes football, and then outside of that, he's kind of a dud, which is probably exactly what Michigan needs.
I think you're right, but if I've got their schedule pulled up now, here, I'll try and get it. If they get smoked by Oklahoma in week 2, like, the heat will be turned on immediately.
Already? Yeah, sure.
If you lose 41-17, and Witt says, we just really like the way we were running the ball in the second half, and they're like, yeah, but you were down 2 touchdowns. You needed to score some points. And Witt says, oh, it's not how I do things.
That's what you sign up for.
But that is what you sign up for.
And that will be eye-opening to him, I bet. You lose games at Utah, and fans are a little mad, but they are still in love with you. Witt had that, 4-win season or whatever it was a couple of years ago?
He had back-to-back losing seasons to start the Pac-12. And his seat heated up, but
it did then. But now,
but he didn't get fired.
Fans were bent about the 4-win season, but they blamed it on Isaac Wilson and they moved on with their lives. Mm-hmm. That's not what happens at Michigan. Mark Pope taking the Kentucky gig. Mark Pope hasn't hit it out of the park at Kentucky, but he's not below 500. He just loses a couple SEC games that the fan base thinks he shouldn't lose.
Should never lose. Yeah.
And what's the phrase, Ben? The Lions are at the gate.
Yeah. Here's Michigan's schedule. Western Michigan to start the year, Oklahoma, UTEP, Iowa, at Minnesota, home against Penn State, home against Indiana, at Rutgers, Michigan State, at Oregon, home against UCLA, at Ohio State. Like, there is a world where that's a 6-win team.
They could lose. Well, they could lose 5 of those games, 6 of those games. They likely would lose 4, maybe.
They could lose to Oklahoma, Penn State, Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State easily.
Well, they'll be dogs in 3 of those.
Then if you drop a game against Michigan State in between at Rutgers and at Oregon, or randomly at Minnesota, or against Iowa. I know Iowa was not very good last year, but it gets steep.
Yeah.
It gets difficult, and then your leash is so short going into year 2. So I'm really curious.
All right.
I'll be watching closely.
What you got Wednesday coming up next? I think we've got 2 good ones today. Stay tuned. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Not only do these guys give you the best jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
What you got Wednesday? What's the deal? Jake's got rules, Ben's out to steal. Bozo takes their spinning around. Flush it down, flush it down. Emo skater Ben with a devious grin. Jake
and Ben, 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone. It's time for What You Got Wednesday. A game where Ben and I go head-to-head in 2 5-selection drafts. One sports-related, one not. Then we put it out on the Talk Snap for a vote. What happened last week, Ben? Or Christian?
Last week, boring athletes. Ben won 63-37. And then best Christopher Nolan movies. Ben won that one. Kind of a landslide here. 83-17.
Oh. People have bad taste in movies. What can I say?
I've since seen The Odyssey. I would redraft. I would draft differently this time.
It hadn't come out at the time.
It has not out yet.
All right. What is so I get the first pick in both. That's nice. What is today's sports-related draft?
In honor of Le Decision, you guys are going to be drafting LeBron's teammates over the years. What's he going into? Year 21, 22?
He's made 22 All-Star teams in his career, and he didn't make it as a rookie. So I think this is year 24.
Oh, and by the way, no Olympic teammates or All-Star teammates or anything like that. NBA teammates.
Totally.
Like that?
Is there an automatic number one pick?
I think he does have a player that he played with that was his best teammate.
I agree.
I actually think number 2 is closer than the gap between 1 and 2 is closer than the gap between 2 and 3.
Dwayne Wade.
That's the right pick.
Yeah, that's the answer.
If LeBron is not in the NBA, I wonder how we talk about Dwayne Wade as a player.
That's a champion. He won without LeBron.
Right. Do we talk about him more in line with being closer to like Kobe Bryant than he gets love for?
No.
He's a pretty darn good player.
Yeah, he was great.
Dwayne really was and took a backseat to LeBron, which is a crazy thing to do after already winning a title.
He did, but I don't think he would have been Kobe, no.
Okay.
Kobe was a better player.
I think that's true.
Which is, that's not a dig at Dwayne Wade, I don't think.
No, it's not. Kobe was a better player. Dwayne was also a 13-time All-Star, 8-time All-NBA, 3-time champion. Like, Dwayne's resume is pretty blemish-free.
Yeah, but Dwayne couldn't shoot.
He could not.
So,
no,
Kobe could shoot.
was better. Kobe was a better player than Dwayne. I'm not sure the gap is as big as some people probably think.
Okay.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, you can have him.
I know you wouldn't like him. I know
That's
his
actually
health
not who I thought you were going with.
and his contract are not particularly strong. Anthony Davis is the only other player on this list. Dwayne Wade is in this conversation, by the way, as well. And at his best, Anthony Davis was one of the 5 best players in the world. So was Dwayne Wade. Nobody else on this list, I think, has this argument.
Fine dresser.
Because he's always in street clothes?
This next one,
his full wardrobe.
I'm having a debate on the next one, but you know what? I'm going to go with Kyrie Irving.
Okay. I think that's fair. I would have debated between this person and another person, and I probably would have taken Kyrie also. I think this is probably chalk. Christian, is this where you would have gone, or would you have gone Kyrie too?
I would have took Kyrie over Anthony Davis, I think. But I don't know. To your point, Anthony Davis was really good when healthy. It's kind of hard to remember that.
Anthony Davis was probably better than LeBron on the Lakers team that won the title.
Well, he was 36.
Sure.
37.
Right. But nobody else in this list can make that argument. Kyrie was not better than LeBron when they won a title in Cleveland. Dwayne Wade was never better than LeBron. So, okay, I will go with Chris Bosh then. Who is, I'm guessing who you were debating?
Yes.
Yeah. Who also has a weird career, not only because of LeBron. Do you think LeBron was good for Chris Bosh's career or bad for his career? There's a world where Chris Bosh clearly never wins a title if he doesn't go to Miami.
How about this? Good for his career, bad for glory.
Okay. You should
Does
start
that
a band called Bad for Glory.
Bad
It's a good
for
band
Glory.
name. Yeah.
Does that make any sense? Like, it was good for his career. He's an NBA champion. He was on one of the best teams of all time.
And that legitimizes his entire career that was cut very short.
He will be a Hall of Famer.
If he's not already.
But if he would have stayed in Toronto or gone to a different team,
He might be LaMarcus Aldridge.
He would have way more glory. He would have
Okay, interesting.
He would have more stats. He would have more All-Star berths. He would
Yeah.
have more glory.
But might be in. Yeah, okay. I think that's fair.
All right. Luka Doncic.
That's a good pick.
No way. Are you feeling okay?
I know, I can't
Do you
stand it,
have
but
a brain abscess
you
right
have
now?
something wrong?
Luka Doncic.
Do some neurological tests.
It'll get me votes.
I think it will. Maybe. Though you run Luca down more than anyone. Maybe you're
I
going to hurt
do.
your own cause. Yeah. Okay, you know what I said? Other guys may not have an argument to be top 5 in the world. Luca has an argument to be top 5 player in the world. Yes. With Dwayne Wade and Anthony Davis. I would take prime Dwayne and prime AD over Luca. But if Luca could change that if he wins a title.
Luka.
Starts to get thin here. There's a drop-off here, though there's still Hall of Famers on this list, and I will go with current or maybe former Jazz man Kevin Love.
Yep.
Third best player on a title team. It's a really hard thing to do. He also gave up a lot to get there, and it was the right move for him.
He gave up all of the glory.
Yeah. He was the face of the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was 25 points, 15 rebounds.
He was an All-NBA
Took
guy.
a major back seat, and it also helped legitimize his career.
Ray Allen.
We're basically going chalk for me.
I mean, I think it's kind of lame. He left Boston and went to Miami.
And it's the end of Ray.
But he won a title.
The worst of Ray, but he still won a title. His second? Third?
Yep,
Did he win
second.
2 in Miami?
No.
Because he won 1 in Boston. And then I think he won 2 in Miami.
Did he? Okay.
Regardless. Great career. Now we really fall off a list because I'm not sure there's like a great choice. I'll go with... I think this will get me votes. Even though I think they only played together for 1 season. Give me Carlos Boozer.
Did they play together?
Mm-hmm. Carlos's second season was LeBron's rookie season.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then he split for the Jazz.
I am so glad you didn't take this player because this is the answer. I almost took this guy number 1. Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Big Z. Yeah.
Big Z.
I've got him.
Zydrunas.
I think he might have been LeBron's first All-Star teammate. Or maybe he made an All-Star before LeBron got there.
It was when they were retiring his number? Or maybe they didn't retire his number. Maybe they did. It was when they were honoring him that LeBron took a game off in Miami and went back to Cleveland.
Zydrunas made an All-Star game right before LeBron got there, 02-03, and then made it again in 04-05, a year, I guess 2 years after LeBron got there.
Big Z.
Really good player. Christian, do you have any concept of Zydrunas Ilgauskas as a player?
Never heard of him.
Who's his comp? It's kind of like the original Sabonis.
No, he's way spazzier than Sabonis. Their games, and he was an offensive anchor. Sabonis is actually talented.
He averaged, you're right, he was like, I mean, his prime is All-Star. He averaged 17 points a game, 7.5 rebounds. Probably closer to Nurkic. Like, big dude, pretty skilled. Kind of, dude, he's kind of running around out there. Huge body. That's why they called him Big Z.
He was very popular.
Huge man.
All right, Ben has one more.
This is my last pick. This list does stink. Ugh. Give me Dwight Howard. He was on the bubble finals team. Got Dwight his only championship. Dwight Howard.
I don't even count Dwight Howard having a championship. I don't count that championship, but certainly, who remembers he was even on the team?
I did, but yeah, I don't even know if he was starting. He may have not been starting.
All right.
I think Anthony Davis was starting.
Review.
Jake, you had the number 1 pick. You went Dwayne Wade, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic, Ray Allen, and Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Ilgauskas. Uh-huh.
Ben, Anthony Davis, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Carlos Boozer, and Dwight Howard.
Any other names that were obvious that we missed?
I mean, his time at the Lakers, he got the husks of everybody. Carmelo Anthony, Russell Westbrook, Rajon Rondo.
Yeah, I had Rajon was probably who I would have taken had I not taken Dwight. Rondo also, I think, won a title with the Lakers that year.
Timothy
Mozgov. Yeah.
I thought about J.R. Smith.
Antoine Jameson. Antoine Jameson's probably better than a lot of those.
Early in his career.
Yeah. Yeah. Birdman. Yeah, Chris Anderson. Honestly, Anderson Varejao was a good player.
All right. What is our not sports topic for the day?
Now you're going to draft musicians turned actors.
This is in honor of Ed Harris, who thought he was an actor turned musician.
They cut his number.
He cut his big number.
So we're talking about musicians in acting performances. Do we have to select a movie or a show, or
I think it will be obvious enough.
All right, that's fine.
But if you're one random person who's like, they have a Pat McAfee level album that came out, and then they became really famous as actors, I think we can veto that if it's obvious.
Uh-huh.
I don't even know who that example would be, though.
Is there a number one pick?
Christian, do you think there's a number one pick?
There might be, but I haven't given it a whole lot of thought.
I honestly don't. I don't think there is.
There are a couple that jump out to me, and I think any of them will say that's a good pick.
Man, I'm gonna go with Frank Sinatra.
That was one of the 2 or 3 names that I thought belonged there. Now, the funny thing is, I'm not sure there's like the obvious movie I would point to. Like the original Ocean's 11's not good.
No, wasn't he in Manchurian Candidate? The original Manchurian Candidate. And he won the Best Supporting Actor in From Here to Eternity.
Guys and Dolls is great. It's also a musical.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you have a singing guy in a singing movie. But he acted a lot. So Sinatra, let me look where I have him on my list. I have him number 4 on my list. But I was just naming like the top people that came to my mind. It's the right pick. It's a good pick. I will go with Judy Garland.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, you're Dorothy. You also have like the best Christmas song of all time. You've got Somewhere Over the Rainbow. You're one of the most famous actors. Yeah. Right there with Sinatra. No question.
This is maybe too high for this guy, but I consider taking him at number 1, so I'm going to go for it. Ice Cube.
I had Ice Cube as one of the first names I listed and got bumped down as I kind of thought about it. Friday. Three Kings with George Clooney, and who else is in that?
Well, I would say
he's really good. Ice Cube, has some chops.
His best movie is Boys in the Hood, which I believe was his first movie. But the reason revolutionary actor, musician,
Rapper,
NWA changed. It created basically a whole new genre. It changed music. And then now, how many people of Christian's generation even know that he was a rapper?
Of like one of the most important musical groups of all time.
Absolutely. He's turned into a blockbuster actor.
In fact, the only reason everybody knows the White Sox logo is partly because of Ice Cube. He was that culturally important.
And Boys in the Hood is great.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good in it.
Yeah, totally agree. Anaconda, great movie. Not the new one. I will go with... let's see, man, I can get some of these later. You know who I'll go with? Who I really like as an actor? Dolly Parton.
Working 9 to 5.
9 to 5. Fried Green Tomatoes?
She was not in Fried Green Tomatoes.
No, she's in the other one.
She was in with Sally Field, who dies.
Yes.
Steel Magnolias.
Spoiler alert, jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I think I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but isn't she dying throughout like the entire movie?
I think her daughter dies.
Yeah. Sally Field does. No.
Sally Field's daughter dies.
That's it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Well, it is quite an old.
It's been out for almost 40 years
movie.
now.
All right, I'm going to go with Marky Mark.
Okay.
Way better
Christian,
actor.
did you know he was a musician?
I do know that,
Okay.
yeah.
He had his Funky Bunch.
And the Funky Bunch.
Way better actor than he was a musician.
Yeah. That's fair. And he's not a great actor either.
I like The Fighter.
Yeah, he's got some roles. Boogie Nights rules. But he's not a great musician, and some of his movies now are a little less exciting. I will go with... I have somebody who's reverse here, so I'm not going to pick them. I will take Madonna. League of Their Own?
Yeah, it's great.
She's really good in it. She's in that? She's like the third baseman.
She's the center fielder.
Center fielder, is she?
I think so.
She might be a kook of a person, but she really, like Dolly, though I think Dolly's very respectable as a person and as an actor, has some acting chops.
You know what movie
She's Dick Tracy?
I was about to say the movie she was in that I really liked that nobody did was Dick Tracy.
Yeah, Dick Tracy's cool.
All right. Where do I want to go? Let's go with Queen Latifah.
I've got her number 3 on my list.
Average musician, although she was successful.
Enormously important.
But I would consider her way better of an actor.
Pioneering female hip-hop artist, though, for sure.
But started as a musician.
And became a very well-respected actor. Yeah. Yeah, I have her on my list. Good pick. Christian, what pick is this for me?
This will be your 4th pick.
Okay, so I have 2 more. I don't want to say waste one here. Musicians turned actors. Have I only drafted women so far?
Yes.
Jeez.
Very progressive, Ben.
I got to be more regressive here with some of my thoughts. I will go with Bing Crosby.
All right.
White Christmas, and then is in the movie White Christmas.
Is that the only one he's in?
No, he's been in a lot. He also does some voice work in some of the Disney movies, including The Headless Horseman. He's a narrator.
All right. My next pick...
He's not a good actor, but he's a great singer.
My next pick did not have many roles as an actor, but the roles he did is the reason why I'm picking him.
Okay.
Meatloaf.
Fight Club.
Fight Club
Uh-huh.
and the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
That's right. He is in Rocky Horror. Forgot about that.
So, not many roles, but 2 kind of iconic roles. Meatloaf.
What's his name in Fight Club?
Bob
You can't-
Paulson.
Bob Paulson. Robert Paulson.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's got a nickname, which we can't say on the radio. Okay, I will go with... I'll go with David Bowie.
Oh, I hate that movie.
Which one? Labyrinth?
Yeah.
I've never seen Labyrinth.
Oh, it's terrible.
You've also never seen The Prestige, and he plays Tesla in that.
No, I have
Back-to-back
not.
Prestige drafts for me. Which I didn't think that was going to happen.
Yeah, some people really just love Labyrinth, and maybe it's one of those that
I've never seen it.
Maybe I don't get it.
There's no nostalgia for me, so it doesn't do anything for me. So,
Who'd we leave off, Christian?
I'll recap first.
Okay.
You had the number 1 pick, Jake. You went Frank Sinatra, Ice Cube, Mark Wahlberg, Queen Latifah, and Meatloaf. Ben went Judy Garland, Dolly Parton, Madonna, Bing Crosby, and David Bowie. Will Smith.
Will Smith I had there, but once Will Smith started smacking people, I dropped him.
Sure.
I
fine.
purposely didn't pick that hack.
Lady Gaga.
Only really been in one movie, right?
Star is Born's good. She's good in it.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
She's in the Joker movie. That one sucked.
Stinker.
Yeah. From my generation, Donald Glover. He's been in a few movies.
And it's good.
He's a pretty good
The Martian's
actor.
good.
Yeah.
All of, what was his, Atlanta? That was one
Atlanta's
of the
funny.
great TV shows.
I thought Eminem was good in 8 Mile, but he played himself.
He did.
So that's why I didn't pick that.
Cher, Moonstruck was so funny, and she's very good in it. That could have
Yeah,
been there.
but she was in the worst movie ever made, and so
What's the worst movie ever made?
Stuck on You. I'm purposely not taking her because
Oh, Harry Styles.
Harry Styles, who's in Dunkirk. And is in, what was the new one he made? Rose.
Don't Worry, Darling.
Don't Worry, Darling.
Is that the one where he broke up Ted Lasso's marriage?
Mm-hmm. And he's an only so-so actor. I had Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx went the other direction. He went actor-musician.
Yeah, is he a musician?
He
did
did like the
alcohol,
Kanye.
dude.
Yeah, he did the Kanye. Like he had some hits.
No, but he did that for an acting role. That was when he played Ray Charles. That song was on the soundtrack for.
That song was on the Ray Charles. The Kanye song was. No way.
I'm telling you.
Why would they have a Kanye song on a Ray Charles movie?
That's a cover of a Ray Charles song.
Gold Digger.
Gold Digger is a cover of a Ray Charles song. Or not a cover. What am I looking for? Sample.
Sample. Okay.
His other song though, Blame It on the Alcohol.
Yeah.
Right. That's not Ray Charles.
But he went actor, musician. So he wouldn't have counted anyways.
All right. There you go. What you got Wednesday? We'll get it up for a vote. Stay tuned. More next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Just doing it big, you know?
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's live at 5, brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan today, your local trusted financial fiduciary, 855-TRAJAN-1, or visit their website at trajanwealth.com. Continue to take a look around the Big 12 as we get you ready for the upcoming football season. Our next guest covers the Houston Cougars. He's the publisher of GoCougs.com. He's Ryan Monceaux with us here on Jake and Ben. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Howdy. How are y'all?
We're doing terrific. Okay, Ryan, this is always a big question for me, especially with how much turnover and change there is every year now in college football. Houston wins 4 games, surprises everyone, I think, last year by jumping up to 10 wins and comes in as one of the hottest teams in the Big 12 this year. Real expectations to maybe win double-digit games again. Is it based purely off of last year's success? Is it improvement in the offseason? Is it a belief in Willie Fritz? What do you think?
Well, I think they have brought in talent consistently year over year, but you're going into the second year where the quarterback, who was pretty good coming out of high school, and proved himself last year. They've put weapons around him, and they have a solid defense that has kind of carried them through 3 years in the Big 12, even though the records didn't show it the first 2 years. The defense really helped this team out.
You know, Houston over the years, when they've had a pretty good coach, you can win at Houston. I mean, they've won a lot of games there. And Coach Fritz and Ben and I talked to him at his first Big 12 Media Days a couple of years ago, and what an impressive guy. What is it about him that has unlocked the potential there at Houston a little bit?
He's just a builder, and that's what U of H needed. You had a kind of a flash in the pan guy with Dana Holgerson. But they needed somebody who this was the last stop. He wanted to build. He could bring in his people. He's never had resources like he does at U of H. And U of H is, frankly, at the bottom of the Big 12 in resources, but he's never had this. He's just a football lifer. He gets kids to believe in him. And they have really worked well with the pitch that, hey, we're going to recruit you. If you don't come here out of high school, that's great. You're from Houston. If you don't like where you end up, you always can come back home.
Houston had a bit of a soft conference schedule last year, if I'm correct. They didn't play BYU.
Yeah.
They didn't play Utah. They get to 10 wins. They did beat Utah the year before that. Again, that was not a particularly good Utah team, though. What's the feather in the cap victory for Willie Fritz that does have people believing that this is for real, that this is a team that can compete?
They beat LSU in the bowl game, and that really unlocked some things locally. The game was in Houston, and that mattered. They have stepped up. They won at TCU. They won at Arizona State last year. Not huge wins, but show that you're kind of going in the right direction. They kind of stubbed their toe at home twice last year. It was kind of crazy. They went 6-0 on the road, won the bowl game, and lost 3 games at home, I believe. They've got to correct that. They've got to be ready every week. This schedule this year, not exactly killer. but more difficult than it was last year.
Especially that week 3 game, right? I think the entire conference, if not the entire world, is rooting for Houston to beat Texas Tech. How do they specifically match up against the Red Raiders?
You still don't know what Tech has. You know, they've got the defensive line they had last year is gone. The quarterback, both of them are gone. And they come off of a week 2 game. They go to Oregon State. It's a night game. So they'll not get home till, 5 or 6 in the morning, Lubbock time. And then the game's a Friday night game. Houston will have played 2 games at home and will go there in probably a better spot than where Tech is. This is a big circled game for U of H. It's kind of if we're real, we're going to show up here. But, Cody Campbell and Tech people have made a point of putting this on their map too.
What's the balance of this team? What's the identity? Is there, a one side of the ball you think is going to be a real strength, or one area that's going to be a real strength? Or do you think they're going to have talent? Because you kind of look at some good receivers, some talent on the offensive line. As you mentioned, good quarterback, good running back transfer. It does feel like there's a lot of different options here.
Yeah, it's depth for one. They just have not had a Big 12 quality depth the first 3 years in the league. But it's balance. Willie Fritz is a run first, run second, run seventh, run 10th, whatever it is, guy. If he never had to throw the ball, I think he'd be okay with that. But they have so many weapons in the passing game, and Connor Wigman has proven himself that you think, you're going to be sort of a 50-50 team. They are really stacked in the defensive backfield. I think you have 4 guys that are legitimate all-conference type players. Your 2 safeties and your 2 corners. So you can say the offense, but really I would say the defensive backfield.
You mentioned resources a little bit. Dive into that a little more as we're all kind of getting to know the new game and the new rules and who has what. Where is Houston when it comes to that, NIL and financial support?
They're at the bottom of the conference. There's just no way to sugarcoat that. Virtually everybody in the league has a 30-year head start in being in a P4, P5 conference. U of H was near the bottom of Conference USA and the American financially until about 10 years ago when they really started to invest. They built a new stadium and an indoor. They started paying people what you have to pay to compete. NIL probably still well behind. They are stepping up on revenue sharing, and that's a huge deal. They've got 2 5-star quarterbacks in the room right now. Never been able to say anything close to that. So there's money there when it's necessary. Kelvin Sampson has found it in basketball, and I think people are going to be willing to push that to football as well, but you've got to keep building.
Am I right? Second-year offensive coordinator, second-year defensive coordinator. We saw the wins last year. How did they perform individually, and is there worry about being able to hold on to them if they succeed again this season?
I think you would be worried about your defensive coordinator. He's a young up-and-comer. He's worked for Kirby Smart, Nick Saban. He's an SEC guy. He was the DC at Florida that he got let go 2 years ago. And I think that's kind of where he would want to be. Slade Nagel, the offensive coordinator, is kind of a Willie guy. I would be surprised if he were able to move up just because of the offense they run is not flashy. It's not going to get, big numbers and maybe just not the attention that the defensive side could get.
I'm sure the fans are excited because Houston expected to be pretty good, and I certainly wouldn't rule them out as a contender for the conference championship. But what are the fans expecting from this season? Is it 10 wins or bust, or what would be disappointing?
I think probably 10 is the number they go to. I didn't think 10 was realistic last year, so maybe I'm the wrong guy. But this year, where you go to in the conference is the tricky part. You go to Tech, you go to Kansas State, you go to Utah, and then you have Colorado and West Virginia back-to-back in November. You just go to basically, except for Iowa State, you go to the biggest, most difficult places to play in the conference. BYU is also who they're missing. So that part could be difficult. I think there's a tricky November schedule that they're going to have to navigate. They did not navigate that last year, and that's why they ended up a couple games back out of going to the Big 12 title game.
Well, you touched on some teams there, and you mentioned Texas Tech earlier, and that's going to be the big one I think that everyone focuses on. If you beat Texas Tech, Houston can beat anybody. But what are the games you've got circled of, hey, this is the difference between maybe an 8-win season and so-so, maybe a disappointment, and 10 or 11 wins, and everyone says this was a really, really big run?
I think there's two. It is Utah on October 24th. That is U of H has not played at Utah in my lifetime, and I'm 47. So that's kind of a different thing. And, you know, you've got talent on that Utah team, that quarterback, and that's going to be difficult. And then you have a 2-game road trip in November. You play at Colorado on a Friday night. You fly to Houston, and then you have to go to West Virginia the next Saturday. That is the trap game of all trap games in my mind for this team. If you can get through Utah and then a couple of games in Cincinnati and Colorado, then you get to West Virginia. They've never played at West Virginia. It's going to be a difficult trip. I think those are the 2 games that you have to circle and say, this is where you need to pay attention.
This isn't football, but I'm just curious. What's Kelvin Sampson like to cover? I love that guy.
Well, he didn't know my name for the first 6 years I did this. My name is spelled or pronounced Monceaux. He called me Monceaux for 6 years. So we had a moment where I wrote something that really kind of touched him, and we have gotten, I wouldn't say close, but we are on the same wavelength. He comes on our podcast 3 or 4 times a year. He's prickly, you know, there's no doubt about it. He's somewhat difficult to deal with, but he's completely, like, he's never going to BS you. It's just never going to happen. You're going to get straight up what he's thinking, and you might not like it. And he doesn't suffer fools, and he doesn't suffer people who aren't prepared.
Ryan, outside of our local teams, Utah and BYU, and we'll take Texas Tech because it's the obvious answer, who do you like in the Big 12 this year? When you're looking at football, who's maybe not getting enough love in your opinion?
I am so curious about Kansas State and Oklahoma State. Both have new coaches. Yeah. It's hard to see Kansas State not being a top half team in this conference. Oklahoma State has kind of tried to go a microwave Indiana route. I don't know if it's going to work this year, but if anybody can step up from that bottom half to get into that top half, I think it would be Oklahoma State.
Well, Ryan, we certainly appreciate a few minutes of your time. Thank you very much for jumping on with us, and we'll catch up with you again before that Utah-Houston game later in the fall.
Thanks, Ryan.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ryan. Ryan Monceaux, publisher of GoCougs.com.
I do like hearing everyone's opinion on who else might be good because I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah,
and
right.
Ryan,
I totally
believe
agree.
Ryan is educated in why he's making. I don't think he's just pulling a name out of a hat.
No,
but I think there was an article today in the Des News of look out for Central Florida. That's the team, and you've said like, why wouldn't West Virginia be good? And Rich Rod's been a good coach historically. Like, I think a lot of teams could sneak up out of nowhere. I'm not betting a lot on Colorado, but there's good talent there. There's good recruits that they've gotten. Arizona State jumped up kind of out of nowhere 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. Arizona last year had a real bounce back with Fafita. Like, there's talent in this conference. The big surprise, I guess, would be if Iowa State out of nowhere is really good this year.
It would surprise me if Oklahoma State was good. No, I mean, Ryan could be right.
Yeah.
What do I know?
Yeah.
But it was so bad.
A lot of people think they might have the best quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, so maybe that is the team. I wouldn't be surprised if West Virginia was better for sure. I don't know about Central Florida. Maybe.
squishy schedule and a decent quarterback gets you a long ways.
I do hate that about these conferences with a million teams. I mean, who plays a good schedule? Well, you were rattling off who's schedule in the Big Ten? Did we go? Michigan's schedule in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Play a lot of dogs.
They do.
You know, and miss a lot of actually, there's not a lot of good teams in the Big Ten, but miss some good teams.
Right.
In the Big 12. I mean, honestly, I'd love to see Houston play Utah, BYU, and Texas Tech.
Huh?
But they only play 2 of those teams, which means that we're going to have some sort of tie at the top of the league again, which seems like what we get every year.
Well, again, looking at Houston, again, no knock on Houston. You can only beat the teams in front of you, and you don't make your schedule other than your non-conference games. But you avoid BYU and Utah in the same year, and you pick up
last year. Yeah,
last year. What I mean, yeah, okay. Well, 10 wins looks a lot different than 8 wins.
It does.
Or 7 wins because you've been steamrolled by 2 of the more physical teams in the conference, and then all of a sudden you're licking your wounds and you lose to Colorado or whoever it is.
They're not losing to Colorado.
I mean, last year in a hypothetical of you get beat up and your last game of the season is more difficult than it was going to be otherwise. So, no, I agree with you. I don't know who's losing to Colorado this year. I think Weber State might get them.
Is Weber playing Colorado?
Game 2.
Wow, go Wildcats.
I'm totally with you.
Hello, Wildcats. Man, that would be something for Dion. Came into the job at Colorado, beating TCU, and then rubbing everybody's face in it about, did you believe? Do you remember all that?
Mm-hmm.
You know that meme, like, this is how it started, this is how it's going? You know, this is how it started. I told you all, everybody to believe. Everybody believed. Nobody believed in us. To how it, how it ended or how it's going or whatever. Losing to Weber State. That'd be quite the turn.
Well, they were awful last year. They did turn out to look the way everybody expected them to.
Uh-huh.
And yes, who did they beat their first game?
TCU.
It was TCU.
After they had gone to the national championship. The year before.
Right. I just had it open.
And then that TCU team turned out to be just okay.
Just an absolute dog.
And then they turned around and
they beat Wisconsin?
They beat Nebraska, who turned out to stink.
Really stink.
And then they played USC close, and they turned out to stink.
Yeah.
And everybody was putting old Dion in like the top 5.
This might be the greatest coach of all time.
Nope.
Not quite. Yeah, it was TCU, Nebraska, Colorado State.
Okay.
Double overtime.
That was a crazy game.
Against the
Rams.
Rams.
It was a crazy game. But
2 dog teams.
Spanked by Oregon, 42-6. Lost to USC by a touchdown, you're right. And USC was ranked and then ended up falling apart. Beat Arizona State as they were at near rock bottom before bouncing back.
That was old Herm.
And then lose to Stanford, UCLA, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State, Utah.
It's a rough
and then
run.
had a good year in 2024. With Shador and
Travis Hunter.
Travis, yeah.
Who's still happily married, by the way.
Travis?
Uh-huh.
Good for him.
Remember the rap on him at Colorado was that she was too good looking for him? Remember that? And that she was with him just for the money.
For the NFL money.
And the glory and the fame.
Yeah. He's still making NFL money, so good for him.
They're still happily together. Happy to announce. Unlike Whitney and Justin.
From Real Housewives. Or Jelly Roll and Bunny XO.
Right. Except for they're actually divorced. I think Whitney and Justin are just having trouble.
Living separate lives.
Yeah. Rough.
Jointly.
I guess. I had a buddy who broke up with his girl and they were living together and neither one of them could afford to move, so they had to remain living together. And I cannot think of a more awkward situation.
Not ideal.
No.
Well, Whitney and Justin, our friends, really tough because your livelihood is somewhat built on being together.
Yeah, I don't think he's that big a part of the livelihood.
Okay.
But apparently they went all in on her
her business.
Yeah.
Her influencing or whatever.
Her business, which was like skincare or something.
Don't date your radio co-host because if you break up, the show breaks up.
Well, yeah, no problem there, pal.
Yeah, you and I are going to be fine. Yeah. I'm talking about us.
Okay.
But
anybody in particular?
There have been some.
That have gotten divorced and then stayed on the air together?
I don't think they've stayed on the air together.
You have somebody specific in mind?
It's happened a few times locally.
Really?
Huh?
Oh, okay.
We'll talk off air.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Thanks to Ryan for joining us, giving us a little breakdown on Houston, who should be one of the better teams in the league, for sure. More next, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk Top.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's a Win Ticket Wednesday, and it's a good one today. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. You're going to win 2 tickets to go see Post Malone with special guest Jelly Roll and Carter Faith at Rice Eccles Stadium on Tuesday, July 28th. Caller 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE.
It's always a good Win Ticket Wednesday.
Yeah,
but
Post Malone's a good,
very good.
Yes, they're always good, but
some of them are more sought after than others.
He's one of the top musicians in the world right now.
Right.
No question.
And he's kind of got a local tie here. I'm sure he's going to sell out Rice Eccles Stadium, I would guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes my phone rings more than others, and right now it's going crazy.
Going bananas. If someone with the last name Anderson calls in, give it to them. Might be my wife.
Do we want to take caller 12 live or caller 11 live and see what their reaction is? No. That's always funny.
We've done one live call on the show. The guy swore 15 words in, and we've never taken another live call ever, which is why we like to use the voicemail so much.
Leave us a voicemail, by the way. We can get us voicemails coming up next. Hey, Ben, real quick. This is not...
By the way, I bet we could figure out how to do some giveaways for voicemails. That's got to be possible.
Oh, yeah, that's probably a good idea as an incentive.
Jazz tickets or something.
Ben, I just saw this. Let me run this by you real quick, and then we can talk some sports. United Airlines is making a change. The major airline quietly updated a noise policy that before the change had flyers nearly losing their minds. Let's see. Back in February, the company started enforcing headphones when listening to content on phones, tablets, or anything that makes sound, meaning passengers are no longer able to blast TikTok or watch movies without the use of headphones. And United now can, I guess, enforce that. I love that rule.
What type of lunatic is showing up on a plane without headphones on? I'm with you. It does happen. I've seen it on the train now recently. People on the beach listening to speakers at full blast like everyone came to hear your music. There should be a rule that we can throw you out of the back of the plane if there's enough votes.
Oh, I'm pro music at the beach, but don't most people keep it pretty reasonable?
No.
Or are you talking about...
Nobody keeps it reasonable. That's the problem.
Oh, we absolutely keep it reasonable. You can't hear it, like, from the water, let alone another...
No, people have their huge sound systems that they're blasting, or they open their car up and park it on the beach and play it at 1,000 decibels. Yeah, if you're on a plane and you think you're going to play sound without headphones in, that's what the emergency exit's for you to be thrown out of the plane.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. The one that is catching fire that I really hate is the speaker on the golf course. I hate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have dear friends that love it and do it every time we play, and I absolutely hate it.
Weird. I hit your speaker with my driver. I don't know.
Strange how that happened.
3 times in a row, you played the speaker, and I accidentally hit it with my driver every single time. No, I'm with you. We'll just keep it down. It's never been easier to listen to whatever you want to listen to privately at an appropriate sound. They have ear covering headphones like the ones we wear on the show. They have ones that plug directly into your phone. They have Bluetooth. You can wear one ear pod. You can have noise canceling headphones. There is 1,000 ways to listen to music or a podcast or the radio or whatever you want to without bothering everybody around you. It's never been easier. And they're cheap. In fact, every airline, not every airline, but most airlines just give you headphones.
You one now. You used to have to buy them.
Now they just give them to you. So yes, if you're such a moron that you think, oh, they're just giving those away because other people may want them, I'm just going to play my music or movie or whatever at full blast, that's absurd.
Then while we're talking about this, my other question for you, with the in-flight entertainment, you know, you've got your own movie screen and everything now. And I am not a prude, nor am I pro censoring content per se. But I think they should edit the nude scenes in the movies in the air. Because that's happened to me where I'm watching a movie, I have no idea.
No, this just happened to me.
I'll tell you what movie it was. This is 40. I watched This is 40, and there's just this random nude scene in that movie, which I had no idea even existed. And this is years and years ago. But I couldn't help myself but like looking around like, hey, hey.
Yeah.
I hope there are no kids around, you know?
They should
edit that.
Flying to New York for the draft, and I watched 2 movies. I can't remember exactly what it was now, but one of them on the way out, one of them was Goodfellas, which is so violent. In fact, it opens up with Joe Pesci stabbing a man in a trunk. Yeah, it's absurd. And I had forgotten that was how the movie, and I felt the same way because I'm not flying first class, and it's only me and my wife, so there's a third seat next to us somewhere. Somebody's catching a glimpse of what I'm watching.
Yeah.
So I felt the same way.
So again, I'm not a prude, whatever. But it makes for incredibly awkward moments when you're on the plane.
And I could have chosen something G-rated, but I'm not going to watch Robin Hood or what, you know what I mean, the Disney movie on the plane either. So yeah, I felt weird about it.
So that's again, not pro censorship, but in that case, I don't think I'd mind that much. Or blur it out or something.
I'm going to give you a choice.
I'll give you a choice. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, with a movie, I had no idea there's a nude scene. I mean, I guess some movies you can really predict it, but some movies you can't.
Sure.
Anyway, there's my travel take from you. You're going to be doing some traveling, but you're doing it the old-fashioned American way. Are you going to make your the road trip? Are you going to make your kids not? I think you should really try this and tell me how it goes. No electronics, no nothing. Make them do it the old-fashioned way. You can have a book, and that's it.
That would be idiotic. That is how I traveled. That's how you traveled. It's why I like so much of the music I do like. It's like, yeah, I have a real soft spot for Gordon Lightfoot. Well, when my parents would drive us to California, and that was one of the 4 albums, that and the best of James Taylor. Yeah, I know all those words or all those songs by heart.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Because I listened to them 4 times on the drive. No, there are video games, iPads, headphones. But my wife and I did make a list. But to your point, I had the same thought in my head, which was, how many of these songs I'm putting on do I need to worry about the explicit version versus the edited version? I have a 13 and a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
They are into pop music, including Mr. Post Malone himself, and not all of his lyrics are G-rated. So do I need to edit the songs?
I think you should make them listen to your soundtrack of your road trip.
Of my road trip
what you put together. And, well, whatever you want. And make
Back in my day.
Make them listen to it. Because you should be forced to listen to your parents' music while mindlessly staring out of the window because there's literally nothing else to do.
Against the window, on the door.
Raining outside.
I can't look at another open field.
Every mileage sign that passes is the best thing that's happening.
You're right. At least we're a little closer. How far? How much longer?
What does it say? What does it say?
How much longer? It's still 2 hours. Okay.
We're down to 120 miles to Cheyenne.
How far is it from Cheyenne? 400 more miles.
Where you're flipping through the atlas because there's nothing.
Yeah, just give me whatever.
Else.
Just give me whatever.
Well, you should make your kids do it. It's good for them. They'll grow up better people.
Well, I'm staying in a motel, and we were talking about that being a rite of passage. Christian, you have motel blood. I can I can sense it.
I do. Yeah,
you have.
I do.
You've spent a night in a motel before.
So my mom is from Minnesota. So a few summers we would drive out there.
Wow, that's
flying.
a haul.
And motel it.
2
Yeah.
days. Yeah, it's like a 22-hour drive. We'd split it up into 2 days. So yeah, we had some motel stops on the way.
That's good for you.
I think the
I
other
don't
one's
know
good
if
for you,
making the
too.
kids listen to whatever nonsensical music that I thought was hip, that I think is hip, I don't know if that's going to be good for the kids. But I get what you're saying. Put a little hair on your chest.
I remember staring at. I've seen a lot of this great country because I had nothing to do but stare out the window.
Not all of the country itself, great. Not everything within the borders is great, including everything between here and Las Vegas, nothing to look at.
Oh, I disagree with that.
And then everything after Las Vegas to Los Angeles, nothing to look at.
That's a little more dry.
And if your parents decide, let's mix it up and go through Reno, because that only tacks on 4 extra hours for no reason, and has nothing to look at either, not great to look at.
Have you ever driven the back way into Mesquite from St. George?
No.
So the road they used to use before they built the highway through Virgin River Gorge, it's awesome. If you ever get a chance to do it, you drive through a Joshua Tree forest.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
It is cool.
And you know what? PCH, great. A lot of beach, a lot of different towns along the way. Awesome. I drove from Orlando up to Washington, D.C. That was incredible because, as you know, in the East Coast, states are 15 minutes long to drive through. Cities are 45 minutes away total. So you're going from Charlotte to Pittsburgh. You get to hit all these actually kind of very cool towns if you want to, en route. Driving through the West, PU, just absolutely stinks for the most part. But the East Coast, very cool.
Oh, I think you're totally wrong. Where are you driving in the West? I mean, yes.
Well, again, the PCH is cool.
If you drive from Salt Lake to Carson City, yeah, it sucks. But no,
Salt Lake to Denver, miserable. Horrible drive.
Not depending on which way you go. If you go through eastern Utah, it's an incredible drive. If you go through Laramie, yeah, it's not so great.
Yes, if you go north, it's horrendous. But that's the fast way to get there.
You're throwing the whole state or the whole western United States into a category that it does not fit.
All of
Midwest
Nevada does.
is terrible.
Midwest is horrible.
The Midwest, going to Minnesota, terrible.
Horrendous. I'm totally with you. Yeah, driving through Kansas is.
We stopped and saw, what's the Jolly Green Giant on the vegetable pack? We saw him. There's a giant statue of him somewhere. That was like the highlight of the road trip.
That's what they have to offer.
Or the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Weird Al made a song about the biggest ball of twine in Minnesota. Apparently that's a thing. Man, Weird Al, what happened to that guy?
He got old. Yeah.
You think Christian has any idea who Weird Al is?
Yeah.
Christian?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite Weird Al song?
I do like Fat.
Uh-huh.
And then he has the one that he remixes, and it's about Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
His song, White and Nerdy.
White and Nerdy.
Yeah, White and Nerdy's great.
Covering Riding Dirty, may have the funniest cameo, not just in a music video, maybe ever, when he's singing the song White and Nerdy, and there's Donny Osmond in the background just dancing up a storm.
Amish Paradise was good.
It's so funny.
The problem, almost, I wonder for Al, which has probably made his life easier in a lot of ways, but while I bet you there was some initial pushback on Weird Al covering your song, at a certain point it flipped and it became an honor. That meant you had made it. If Weird Al was going to do a parody of Bad, Fat, whatever the Star Wars, White and Nerdy, Amish Paradise, all these huge songs, at some point that was like, wow, I've made it. It's a rite of passage. Weird Al picked my song to do a cover of. That became a big deal.
I bet he made a fortune.
Absolutely, yeah.
Weird Al. I haven't thought about Weird Al in a long time.
They made a movie about him with Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, the old Harry Potter guy.
Well, he's in the movie UHF. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
UHF, which
Weird
I
Al
have
is.
not seen.
Oh, I have.
And yes, they made a biopic
about Weird Al.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Must not have been very good.
Sadly, like most of Weird Al's music.
Oh, Weird Al's music is
He's got
brilliant.
some hits.
It's brilliant.
I bet it's not all good. The 5 we mentioned, probably pretty solid. The rest?
I had the UHF soundtrack when I was a kid.
Okay. On vinyl or tape?
Tape.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I bet.
There's a song called She Drives Like Crazy instead of She Drives Me Crazy, which was funny.
It's good wordplay.
It is. Good segment, Ben. All right, we'll have more coming up next. It's Jake and Ben. We'll get to your voicemails. Send them in, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Not only do these guys give you the best jazz coverage in the market, they've got you covered with the Mammoth, the Cougars, the Utes, and the Aggies. This is Jay Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two niggas on the airways, talking sports. They got him Matrix and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his scarves. Oh my.
This is Travis with Jake and Ben. That beating of a high school janitor, that's Jake's favorite actor, Adam Sandler.
This message is for Jake and Ben. I'm starting to get nervous that Christian is slacking off in his film edification. It's probably 2 or 3 times a week that something is brought up he has neglected to partake in. Maybe during some of these drier sports months over the summer, we can start a weekly segment and get Christian's updates on what he is watching. I think we need to hold him accountable. Seems like he's dropping the ball on a lot of these movies.
Could not agree more, Jared.
Jared's definitely dropping.
There's voicemails from Travis and Jared. Thank you both for leaving those for us. You can go to the KSL Sports app, go to the voicemail section, and then record a message for us. Say it's for Jake and Ben, and we love to play them. Yeah, Christian, I don't think you've seen one movie that we've required you to see.
So you guys got to understand, obviously.
What do we have to understand, Christian?
20 years younger than you guys. If it's, post 07 or 08, there's a really good chance that I've seen the movie. You guys have had a lot more time to watch movies.
You are total.
have.
You are dancing around the subject. We are not expecting you to have seen Almost Famous in the theater. We are expecting you to carve out 2 hours of your personal time to watch a fantastic movie that absolutely has not only a Utah tie, but a job philosophical application for you.
It took me 3 years to watch Major League.
So
I'll get to Almost Famous when I get to it. But then all these other movies,
Do you know when Netflix started its streaming service? Not mailing you DVDs, which both Jake and I had subscriptions to. I assume you had a subscription because everybody did. And then they started streaming, and I was like, this is never going to work. But it got rid of the DVD mailing process. Do you remember when that started, Christian?
08?
07.
Oh, okay.
How old were you at that point?
7.
It's never been easier to watch movies than it is throughout your entire life. So the idea that somehow movies before 2007, because Jake and I are 20 years older than you, it would have been easier for us to see movies is a lie.
No, I'm just saying,
it was never harder to watch movies.
But you guys have a whole 20 more years than I have to watch movies.
The ability for you to catch up in the Netflix/streaming world completely erases any excuse.
Yeah, I'm working
Jake
on other
and I
stuff
used
right
to
now.
go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or Top Hat Video or what was the other one? I don't know.
Video Verns.
Video Verns. You could rent movies from the Tower if you really wanted something niche. The pain of going to rent a movie and there being 50 empty boxes of the new release
that you want to see,
and being like, fine, I guess I'll rent Godzilla again or whatever nonsense, was such a real thing. It was hard to watch movies in the past, especially if there was any desire to see that specific movie or if it was remotely off the beaten path. There's just a great chance it wasn't at Blockbuster or Hollywood Video or Video Verns or Top Hat or whatever.
Now you can go home and watch Almost Famous tonight without getting off your couch.
You can find an illegal version that somebody has uploaded to YouTube in the last 4 days. Yeah. So no, there's no excuse. I don't care that you have a young child. We both have young children. Yeah, that's life.
Hey, as long as we're talking movies real quick here, and then we'll get into it in the 6 o'clock hour. But Paramount is greenlighting or pushing forward Tom Cruise's next project. Do you know what that is?
Well, I know the movie Digger is coming out, but he's got something after this.
His next project?
No idea.
Days of Thunder sequel. There's another Days of Thunder coming out. Imagine if he does it as well as he did with the Top Gun sequel.
Oh, that's the idea, right? Is they said this Maverick movie made $1 billion. Days of Thunder certainly will do well.
Absolutely.
It's not going to do well.
I'm going to go see it.
Sure. But you don't need to make... They might have already made Cocktail, too. You don't need to make a
No.
third.
But Cocktail was a terrible, and when I mean terrible, or say terrible, I mean terrible. Like, didn't make any money. Nobody likes it even now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the worst movie ever made.
Okay.
Days of Thunder was amazing.
Okay.
Although Bob Duvall's not going to be there, it's not going to work.
He's dead.
Well, he was a key component.
Okay.
All right. We'll get to our 6 o'clock hour coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I think the engine's stalling out on me.
Yeah, that don't sound right.
Dang, got a lot more miles to go.
Nah, be okay, mate. You ride with Geico Motorcycle Insurance and got their 24/7 emergency roadside service. They'll be here with a tow in no time.
Good, because these boots weren't made for walking.
Those riding boots are pretty sweet.
Oh, you like?
Do you think they come in a size 1 inch?
I don't know.
It feels good to ride with help. It feels good to Geico. Emergency roadside service is optional coverage.
Make game day yours. Tickets, food and drinks, stats, and streaming. Everything you need is in the Utah Mammoth app. Download today and make game night easy. Download on both Android and iPhone. Tusk, top,